Okay, does the microphone work?
It might not.
A lot's gonna hinge on the microphone work.
It might not.
A lot's gonna hinge on the microphone work. Sounds like it's working.
That's pretty cool.
Feedback.
I mean, I feel like most of this is just gonna be for editing wise. You can just like start it later, right?
Yeah, but there's an appeal of doing something that like there's a style of you just don't edit it ever, and then people like it, but then also you don't have to edit it at all, so it's a win-win.
If that's the appeal, I suppose. I mean, the problem with that is then it's lesser in quality, essentially. Like, but that's the appeal.
You say no, it's like ASMR, like amateur porn, like it's like life. It's
I know
people like that more because they're like, oh, it's not
fake.
It's raw, yeah.
Oh, okay, well, actually, I can understand what you're saying. Like, especially when someone's like playing a game and enjoying it, but like they're faking enjoying it. It's like almost as bad. Yes, the amateur porn thing literally is what comes to mind when it's like it's not.
Joe Rogan's like that.
Okay, but Joe Rogan has a totally different appeal, and is literally a person that people have been interested in for a while. And it's just like people want to watch a show about him because they're mildly interested in what he does and what he's doing.
He's a far out dude.
He's weird enough that he catches your attention if you're just an average person, and that's a huge audience.
Because, like, a bunch of the people that go on his show, I wouldn't watch a show that was just them, because I'm like, no, I'd be bored. But, like, I know he's going to ask him about, like, a wolf ape on DMT, and, like, because of the Nazis and, like, Argentina, and that's neat.
Well, it's okay. The problem with that is then, like, most normal people are also kind of weirded out by that. I mean, you need the internet brain type person. There's a lot of that, especially, like, after pandemic, because it's just, like, everyone has internet brain. But, like, I don't know.
It's what the market is, and there's a much bigger market of internet brain, low attention span, TikTok and YouTube shorts. It's a market. It's a real market.
I mean, shorts being popular, I understand, because I've seen one or two. TikTok as a concept, I understand.
You've seen TikTok as a concept?
No, you keep sending us TikToks, and it's unescapable now.
Doesn't that mean you're working with the Chinese?
No! Dude, everybody needs to get over the TikTok China shit.
What do you mean? It's kind of hard to do. Well, I mean,
it's a Chinese company.
Yeah, that's...
So if a Chinese person uses an iPhone, does that make them an American spy?
No, but that's not as much how the U.S. conducts business.
All of this bullshit about them, extracting information or the terms of service are super sketchy. The same thing applies for Facebook and for fucking Snapchat, all the American companies as well. It's the same thing.
Okay, but wait.
And Instagram, like, it's the same. You're giving them the same information.
Collecting data and selling it to the government. Data. Oh yeah, you got me there.
I was on. Oh, by the way, speaking of TikTok, I was on TikTok Live for 4 fucking hours last night.
Why?
With Kaylin.
Okay.
We were selling shit for 4 hours.
Neat.
Wait, like
TikTok Live for 4 hours. I wonder about.
She pre-packs mystery boxes with like bracelets and crystals and stuff, and then people order them through our website, and then I'm sitting off to the side with a laptop, and I'm like, okay, such and such person ordered like a bracelet box, and she has like all these boxes behind her, and she's like, okay, like which one do you want, like 1, 2, or 3, and then they pick on live, so they're like interacting with her, and then they'll say like, you pick, like they'll let her pick, or they'll say like 2, and she'll pick, and then open it up on live, and they can see what they got.
Oh my god!
And she's like, oh look, you got like a cool thing, and then like we put their order in or whatever, and like pack it away. We did it for 4 hours.
Dude,
we got like 100 orders.
No! I know that is really smart. Holy shit!
So
sorry,
but that's such a future-y thing, and it's TikTok. The Chinese are gonna go to those people's houses and know that they like crystals. And they're gonna like send Sun Tzu with like a rat associated with the North, but they're gonna like use traditional Chinese medicine on them.
Well, do you guys know? I don't know if I've told you guys. it like in the crystal like community, the Chinese have like a monopoly on crystals. Did you guys know that?
No.
No.
For I don't want to like I don't know entirely, so like I don't want to like misspeak here, but like basically they own a lot of the fucking like crystals and minerals in the world because they have people who will go to like where the mines are, so they'll literally go to like Brazil or they'll go to like wherever, and they'll mass buy all of the crystals in that country or like wherever the mine is, and then like if you're like buying a crystal from someone, not this isn't like 100%, but like a lot of the times it's like from them or whatever.
I knew the De Beers had like a diamond monopoly.
Who's that?
There's this family they do shit in Africa and they're illegal in the U.S. Like they can't have offices here, but they own all the diamonds.
That's
and they
the company?
Yeah, and they flood the market whenever anyone else tries to make diamonds available. They're just like, no, we're going to make diamonds worthless. And they just run everything with that because they own them all.
That's what I've heard.
They were sitting on them.
Blood diamonds.
Yeah, man. But
Grant,
we can make them artificially now.
How would you be as a child slave blood diamond miner? Like,
well, I like to think I would be very good at it and efficient at it. Or I'd be dead. I give it a 70% dead or a 30% I'm good at it because I've like learned quickly. I'm one of the lucky ones.
So how would you? What's your survival plan?
I don't think if that's where I started, I'm probably going to be undernourished, and my survival plan is probably just going to be day to day, moment to moment, survive and like don't get beaten and stuff, and get enough gold to the people, and be good at getting the gold that or whatever it is we're getting. Probably it would be that. Like I don't think if you put me there now, of course, it would be come up with some brilliant way where I'm just going to act like everyone else, but then at the exact right moment, we're just going to do we're going to try and get free. We're going to try and not live that life.
I don't know. I feel like you'd be fine. Like you'd figure out. You'd be like the best fucking diamond miner ever.
You'd be the best slave. Who cares? That sucks.
And you would be like
great slave.
Like you'd be like a cutthroat fucking yeah.
But that's what am I gonna? And then I'm going around like beating up my fellow slaves if I'm one of those. No, that's not good. That's not the right system.
Nah, I don't think
that's not a good way to live. You wanna be free and be like the dream is you get really good, you escape by you beat one of them to death with gold, and it's poetic irony, it's like this big piece of gold ore, and then you escape, and then you yourself start a mining business, and then you use your skill set and your work ethic to do super well. That's what I would do in the ancient world. Okay, here's something fun. So, in the ancient world, slavery was everywhere. But if you wanted to still be worse about it, you could have racial slavery. That's what made the Spartans worse than the other Greeks. Is that
who they enslaved?
The Helots. There was this native people who lived in Lacedaemonia, because the Spartans were called Lacedaemonians, and they just lived there. And the Spartans just came in and conquered them because they were a war people, and said, okay, now we got our food and resources and infrastructure and stuff handled, and we're still just going to run a war culture. And but that's the point. Is it's like it's funny there being a political spectrum where the left end of it is slavery and then the right end of it is racial slavery. Because if you were a slave in Athens, it didn't matter what kind of person you were. You were just, it's just you lost in the war and someone bought you. But then in Sparta, it's a specific color and it's the sliding scale.
Slavery is slightly different, though, right?
But it was better.
Slightly?
If you weren't,
you could buy yourself out and stuff.
Yeah, it was.
You had
you
days
could
off.
do that, and pretty much as far as I know, you could do that at any point.
Well, American slavery was.
Yeah, you could. You could do that in
some
American.
places there, but also
Django,
it was
what?
That's
Django
like someone else buying them out. That's not you buying your own freedom.
No, but you could do that in America. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's good, but my point stands. I still think the essential case is that racial slavery is worse, and all the primary sources say that it's meaner because it's not just that it's a person you bought, but it's that you say this type of person there did, it's the ideology that comes with it. I think it does make it worse because it's for instance in Athens there were slaves that were like guards and policemen, and you would like send your slave out to the market to buy something. All the primary sources say this. It was like a bit better for them, and that's what's so funny about it is we're Democrats, we're nicer to them, and it's not, we don't discriminate on who you
Hold on a minute, because I want to know.
Still fucked.
What were the Hallets? Were they like white or were they like dark?
I don't know. They just look.
They were just different.
We don't even know because it was 2,500 years ago or more.
Oh,
it's just whoever was around there then.
Okay.
But it was, and all the primary sources say it was worse. There was more hatred because all the Helots just were like, we're going to kill all the Spartans.
That used to be being progressive, by the way.
That's
like being progressive, like now is different. Like it means something else. But being progressive then was like, no, I don't give a fuck what color you are. We're gonna just make you the slave regardless of that. Like
they're the good guys, actually.
I don't make my slaves based off of color. I just enslave everyone, and irregardless of what ethnic background they are.
And
that's being progressive.
And it was nicer. It was than Sparta was, because it's all the sources they say that the Helots would gladly eat the Spartans raw, and that's not an exaggeration. Everyone repeated that, and like it's realistic. It's just the hate, and that's why Sparta was so good at fighting. Is just total armed camp.
What do you think, Dan?
I would not fuck with the Helot. That sounds crazy. They want to eat people.
If you were like you ever see Blackfish?
No.
I know what it is. They're mean to the killer whale, and then the killer whale like kills people. But if I were that killer whale, I would probably do that because it's just like, okay, if you put me in a cage all my life, I'm gonna do something.
Okay.
You gotta.
The difference being that you could kill somebody as a person without eating them, but I think the killer whale has a harder time.
That's how it takes someone out. It's with its bite attack.
Yeah, so it's not as messed up, I think.
Yeah, that's true, but it is. The killer whales do get sadistic about it in the same way that the Helots probably would. And Sparta was constantly dealing with slave revolts at home, like
More like dolphins then, because like when dolphins do fucked up things, they know the implications of it.
Yeah, I think killer whales do too, though.
Oh yeah, yeah, true. I feel like there's just weirder cases with dolphins than with killer whales as far as like weird. Anyways, I think killer whale and Blackfish is like understandable.
I get it, and I root for the whale a little bit, except that in the situation I root for the person because I'm on team people.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want anyone to die, but it's like, you kind of not deserve to die is a really hard thing to say. I don't think anyone does.
But being prey is a particularly awful way to go. We usually aren't that.
I feel like alpha or apex animal or whatever.
Predator.
I guess, yeah.
Legends.
No. No.
No?
Nah. You'd have to talk about League then, and get the fuck out of here. You don't want to talk.
I'm not the one that fucking plays League, dude.
No, I know, but it's just one and the same. It's just all like Riot. Riot is not
they don't make.
It's like
Apex.
TikTok.
Riot's like TikTok.
Yeah.
You guys need to stop hating on TikTok. Do you guys even watch the shit I send you?
Yes.
That's why.
It's good, right?
It's usually Alex Jones screaming.
Yes.
Because those are funny.
I don't know if it is.
I just sent my friend one. That's funny that you guys mentioned that because I didn't send it to you.
Alex Jones screaming.
Yeah. He doesn't watch them either, by the way.
No, I watch it, but then it tries to make me sign in.
You think I'm like you little frickin' coward? You think I'd sell my family out like you, dirtbag? You think I'm
That's 2000s Alex Jones.
I'm a coward like you? You think I'm like you?
That's good, dude.
It is.
You have to admit he's funny.
Anyways, he's actually, I don't know if I have to admit he's funny.
But he is.
It's funny to laugh at him. I don't know if that's the same concept.
He's not trying to be funny, but he's funny.
Yeah, there's a weird connotation to that. He is funny to laugh at. I will say that. I mean, he's not in. No, he is insane, but he is like not insane. It's like a character. I don't really know. I've never seen a single thing of Alex Jones.
He loves freedom, and he's insane. And he's read so much sci-fi, and that's why I like him, because he's always bringing up the sci-fi
I didn't
plots.
even know you mean sci-fi.
No, most of the stuff he says when he's just making up lore, it's just something he stole from a sci-fi book.
Oh,
and
that's
I
good.
like that. That earns credit with me.
Huh.
What's
Have you watched-
what's a good entry point to sci-fi? Because
I
I don't even read, because I just read college shit.
Well,
when I'm done with college.
Do you like what do you like? What do you like to read about? Do you like reading about like war stuff?
No, not really.
Okay, then there's maybe like Stranger in a Strange Land. That's
What's
fun.
that?
That's it's by Heinlein in the 60s. There's a human born on Mars and raised on Mars by Martians, and then he comes back to Earth, and that's the Stranger in a Strange Land, and it's the story of his adventures on Earth. And it's great because he's fucking weird. He's crazy because they raised him all Martian style.
I need to.
There maybe Dune. If you like the Dune
I
movie,
know you were
Dune
gonna
is
bring up Dune. I
incredible.
should have known that.
And
Sandworms.
most of the good sci-fi books I want to recommend are about war. It's like Ender's Game is good, The Forever War is good, Starship Troopers is good. But those are all they're very like pew pew like Star Warsy.
Man, I don't know.
Ender's Game movie.
It's so bad. It's maybe the worst movie.
Is it because it's just not accurate, or that you can't really do have the book in cinema?
It could have been adapted somehow by people much better than the people who did it. They tried to make it a cool adventure movie with Harrison Ford and all that, and it's more of a cerebral book. Where it's like kind of there's war games going on, but mostly it's advanced and like it should be long shots of thinking about things, and like a Scorsese 2.5 hour movie. Like there was no way they were gonna do that. They were like, no, look, it's Harrison Ford. He's gonna be like, listen, you got to do this for Earth. Like that's not what the book is.
Target audience is like teenagers, or I only wonder why they made the movie they did.
It's because Ender is a 6-year-old at the start, and that's they're just like, that means it's a kid's book. And it is, but it's a kid's book for like when you're thinking about sci-fi-y stuff.
Interesting.
Shit, I don't know how I got off on that. Do you know, speaking of like the Athenians being progressives,
Yeah,
let
let's get back to that.
how-
That's
yeah.
really what people want to fucking know about.
No,
so.
it's much more important.
Slavery.
Let me tell you how the Persian Wars started.
Okay.
There were these people, the Ionians, that the Persians were punishing, and the Persians
Hold
were
on.
like Rome or America.
Hold on, you have to slow down. I don't know what an Ionian is. So
They live in Turkey.
okay, so it's basically where Turkey is now.
Yeah,
The
they're
Turks.
just someone in like Asia Minor, that's east of Greece. If
Right.
you're east of
Yeah,
Greece,
yeah.
and it's
Catchy.
there's like Constantinople and stuff, but it's just
Yeah. Okay, so
And,
Persians hate them.
Well, but
Like
Persians
this,
at the time, they're like Rome or Egypt or America.
They're like a
they're
huge
the big-
empire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're Mesopotamians. They're just like the 4th or 5th version of warrior Mesopotamians, and they're fucking shit up. And I think it was Darius that founds this dynasty, but now it's King of Kings. Because you have all your different little empires, and then you're ruling all them. You're like underlings or kings if you're the Persian emperor. So they're doing great, and so the Ionians are rebelling, and the Persians love punishing rebelling people. You know, the coolest art ever is the like Assyrian stone bas reliefs of people getting tortured, and it's thousands and thousands of years old and very detailed. And it's like this guy put this outside his throne room and looked at it for fun. Like, what kind of guy was this? So they were neat people. So the Ionians are rebelling, and they're like Luke Skywalker. They're like, we're fighting the big empire, and they're getting the shit beaten out of them. And they say, Greece, you gotta help us. And they send an envoy. And Sparta, they have like a king or two, and the king's like, no, you're far away. Why would I help you? No. And then the Athenians, because it's a big group of men, the envoy persuades them by appealing to them emotionally. Like, you gotta help us, you gotta help our freedoms. because the Athenians are just Democrats, and it's like, we're being oppressed, you gotta like appeal to the good and be the world police and save us. In Athens, here's what they do. They all come to a vote, and they say, we're gonna send you like 3 boats, like nothing, but we're gonna send them with like a flag that says we're with you, and like symbolically we're gonna be like, Athens is the good guys. Like they were doing that way back then, and they say, sure, yeah, send like 3 boats to kind of help, and then the Persians just notice them, like Athens pings on their radar, and it's like, you really don't want America to notice you and be like, we might want to take over all your stuff.
Yeah.
So then that's what started the whole thing. But what a dumb thing.
So how were they progressive?
Because they were like a city with a bunch of trade and stuff. They were like sexually liberal. They were a lot more. They liked a lot more musical theater than the other Greeks will say. What else? But they were very into like all the thinking. Yeah. But they were actually really successful. The whole reason that it matters that they won is that they made democracy and like Western civilization, and they invented thinking and stuff, and so that it's good. Like what I'm saying is we are still LARPing as Athenians, because we're like, we're a democracy and have like the pillars, like the Parthenon and stuff. Like, we're just still LARPing as them. So they're, what else made them progressive? They were very, the non-racial slavery. A lot of trade is really the main thing, being in an ocean-y place where a lot of different people and ideas come through there. And then being by an ocean, like I think like Bill Burr said, if you live by an ocean and look at it, you just start getting like smug and thinking you know shit. Like, I am wise.
I don't know. I kind of want to push back on that point, because Florida proves that to not be true. That's what
Florida's a badlands. Florida's like a place where human life is not yet full life and thriving. It's mostly just like you eke out your existence on the bayou and like protect your kids from the crocodiles. Do not go in or near any unclear water. Like, it's not a fully human existence. The heat and the humidity. If you go there, it's like a Lovecraft story where they're like fish people, and they're just like, you come into the Hodam tonight after the sun goes down. A lot of the more interesting people come out, and you're just like, I'm going to be out of this town by sundown. Like, that's what Florida's like. That's not a hospitable human place yet. They need to drive out all the reptiles.
Yeah.
Miami,
It's a city there. That's like a testament to the beauty of humanity. Like a city, if we built one in the Sahara, that we built a city in Florida.
No, the snake people or the reptiles you had to get out of Miami. You gotta watch out.
Are there Sneeple in Miami?
How would there not be?
Fuck, you're right.
You see, that's why there's so many not alligators. I can't tell the difference. Maybe that's species.
Alligators are a lot nicer. That's the difference.
Yeah.
A crocodile will fuck you up. Yes. An
alligators are freshwater or brackish?
I think fresh. I know crocodiles are like, it can be either.
Yeah, that means they're probably brackish water.
But a crocodile is they will fuck you up. They're like the one that you see and you're like, oh shit. An alligator is still scary, but they're less aggressive, I think. They're less like a dinosaur, like a Pathfinder enemy that's just gonna leap on you and murder you. And they're any adult alligator will respond to a distress cry from any young alligator. So they're like nice people, They're like, yeah, I'm looking out for the alligators. Which is something you really don't normally think about, is an alligator being like, oh no, the young are in danger. That's not a...
They have different noses too, right?
Yeah, they got like a weird nose. If you're ever in an alligator battle, or really any earth animal battle, aim for the nose. That's, okay, so, Dylan, there's a utility of sci-fi, which I know you're like, oh, it's like useless because it's totally just made up shit.
I never said sci-fi is useless.
No, but like you said, it's like arbitrary, because it's like you're making the shit up. But if you read enough sci-fi...
In what context did I say
it's, that? I remember just at some point, I'm not like trying to accuse you of some thing. I just
Sounds
remember
like an
at a point
accusation.
that you said something like it's I was talking about some kind of space theoretical question, and you were saying it's hard to make, like, you just don't have very much data on it. It's a lot of conjecture, and that's accurate.
Well, I think my point was, and I say this for a lot of things, is like when you get into like super outer space or like in comic book stuff when they have like superpowers, you can rewrite narratives. You can just bend the rules. You can be like, oh, actually that guy wasn't dead because he had a superpower and a special crystal that prevents
It was
him.
on Trutonium.
That's all I'm saying. The like underlying like themes and stuff can still be like very true of, especially of like human nature. Like they can really reflect like how we would react. But it's not like a sum zero like this is what would happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the. Part of that is bad writing, because any setting can include, like, a soap opera has proved that you don't need to have magic or sci-fi to have really dumb, shitty twists. Like, oh, he was shot in the head, but he lived, because, like, really it just grazed him. But, like, no, he didn't. We saw. No, that was JoJo, but that's also soap opera.
Yeah, anime soap opera.
It's the benefit of sci-fi is if you read enough and think about different kinds of, like, what would other planetary stuff really be like, then if you ever encounter it, you have a big sample to draw from on where would this thing's brain be, and, like, where do you shoot it? You know, like that. If you think about, like, parallel speculative evolution, you could be like, that, like, if I were God and I were making, like, a starfish 7-legged thing, where would I integrate its nervous system? And then you'll know where to shoot, because you'll just make that choice.
No, I almost feel like
right
it would be
away.
like the last place you would think type of thing.
No, you gotta work off what you can see really quickly. It's just like any other problem. It's not an Earth thing.
People who write this study other like animals biology.
If
They're
they're
like,
good.
yeah, if they're good, to write about it. So like the whole thing is that you want to like be able to use that as a reference point, which I understand, but like the problem with that is then you end up with some like backwards logic where it's just like, oh, I don't know what animal he used as a reference. Like sometimes it's something that's hard skinned, but you use like a jellyfish or some shit as a reference point for his brain, and then it's like you can end up with some misinformed attacks. But shark noses are a good reference point for hitting an alligator in the nose.
Yeah, any Earth animal hit it in the nose. That's if you're in a fight for your life, nose, eyes, face. That's why a worm is such a frightening foe.
A large worm, I wouldn't know where to start. I haven't even read Dune.
They don't even try and fight them. There's just no point. You could use a las gun, I guess, but bad idea.
Yeah, they just like fuck you up.
Yeah, they're just huge. And a las gun, Dune has this great thing where if you shoot a laser and you hit like a shield, and anyone might have a personal shield, it makes a random size explosion at the shield and the gun. And it could just be little or it could be nuclear sized. And that kind of disincentivizes people from spamming out lasers.
Oh.
It's a nice meta-call, and that's the excuse of why it needs to be knife fighting.
What
Dune
does
is great. Yeah, it's all Dune.
Always has
Oh
it?
man.
Because it's a desert like Egypt.
Danny, get that pyramid.
Why
You
do
see
you
it
have
on
a
the wall?
pyramid?
Hand it to Grant. This is gonna fuel him.
Okay.
He's gonna have more to talk about. Like,
Why do you have a pyramid?
I think I bought that in Arizona.
Is it just like an obelisk?
Yeah,
Oh.
power.
It still has the tape not fully peeled off. You can
Yeah.
tell.
So,
No, that's why you know it's powerful.
Danny,
$23.99.
tell me about the U.S. tax code.
No.
Tell me about that's the only
I
thing.
will not.
Because
talk
Grant
to
and I
you.
are doing the heavy lifting here, and you need to talk and it's the only thing you fucking know.
No, I will not talk
What the
about
hell?
the U.S. tax code. I
No?
promise you. Yeah. That is a bad, terrible thing to do.
You don't want to fix it? You think it's perfect?
Oh, I can talk about why it's wrong, but like a lot of people just ask for things that are uninformed, but that's no different from anything else. Like tithing and like a flat tax are kind of like the same thing, right? It makes sense why people who do one also like the other, but it's also because it's uninformed both ways. I mean, because like a lot of people will say like, oh, the goal is to like get enough money where it doesn't matter if I tithe, but like the reason why that is like good and you're right, but like that's like easy to do is why if you paid a flat tax it would also be easier to do once you have that much money.
How did these ancient cultures tax?
Oh, I don't know.
'Cause you should know that
What?
also.
The fun one is
The evolution of
No.
everything.
I have no idea.
taxing is, it's just the tax collector comes to your door and what can he bring out of you? That's typically how it's been done. It's been according to different rules, but
Like physically?
yeah, or
It's
just
really
by
bad,
arguing or by threatening you, maybe with fake authority. The Romans had a great system where people would bid on tax contracts. They would say, I can get this much money from this area. And the person who says they can get the most, the government will hire them. And then everything they get in excess of their bid, they can keep. And that's how you pay them, which is a great system. But really, the important thing is that in about 3,300 years ago in Egypt, there was this guy Akhenaten who founded monotheism. He just said, we're doing one God, and he just decided it.
Akhenaten?
Akhenaten.
Akhenaten?
Akhenaten. His
Are you
wife
sure it was him?
Yes, it was Akhenaten, and his wife was Nefertiti.
I thought that it was the Jews.
No, the Jews probably got monotheism from Akhenaten, because it's 3,300 years ago, I would guess. Maybe they got it before.
So he
but
was just like,
if they
this is-
didn't, then
It
the
was
Jews
him,
probably
and
brought
you
it
said
to
his
Akhenaten.
wife?
I don't know how serious his wife was about monotheism, but his wife was just a big like Kim Kardashian kind of figure.
Socialite.
Yeah, she was, or like what's that one, like Eleanor Roosevelt or the
Okay.
Jacqueline Onassis. Yeah, just a
Was he
woman who
like a
was
philosopher, or what was he?
popular. No, he was just some guy. He was just the pharaoh. So he's like, yeah, I'm God, everyone. I control everything. I'm the sun. And
This was in...
Egypt.
I thought you said it was something... I thought you said
No,
it was
no.
wrong. So... Oh, but he's... Okay, he invented monotheism, but
Yeah,
he
it's
said
like, we're just gonna
he
worship
was
the
the
sun.
one God.
Well, every pharaoh said they were the one. It was just what you do if you're its head of state. And then
But he did it first.
not all the pharaohs before did say like they were the sun god. He just got rid of the gods that weren't the sun god.
Okay. Strong.
So that-
Smart.
So he
good-
was just
good
like,
man.
this is too much to keep track of. I'm not doing this bullshit. Harvest God, the night.
Yeah.
It's just me.
It's just-
Forget all that other fucking bullshit you're praying to. It's me, okay? And his wife was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's what they just ran with.
Yeah,
That's literally how it came up.
Then, but then
Smart.
it was a good choice, but the people did not like it because they're like, dude, we've been doing. They like looked at the
Yeah.
pyramids and were like, bro, those are like 2,000 years old. You know, like how much history you're going back against. Like we got to keep worshiping many gods because look, this is a bird drawing that's in the time of my grandfather's grandfather, etc. So. They, after Akhenaten and Nefertiti died, they just went back to polytheism because they were like, "Fuck that! That's too soon in the future." Like and I think it's a crack up because the Christians they made monotheism big in like 330, but so 1,000 years before, no more than that, but 1,600 years before the Christians made it big, they were like, "We're gonna try and make monotheism a thing," and it just didn't work. Didn't happen.
Test run, you know.
Yeah, just a test drive.
I mean, it proved that it could work. Do you feel more powerful with the pyramid?
No, it's interesting.
It's helping
It's a
him.
pyramid.
Oh, it has no more. Yeah, you know, honestly, most pyramids grant you power. We should go to Egypt one of these days.
I would like to actually see the pyramids in
My
person.
coworker went there a couple months ago.
How was it?
He was like, dude, I always wanted to go to the pyramids. I finally got to go. It was fucking I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know I've never heard him talk about it or anything. He's like, dude, it was great or whatever. He's telling me about it. He said they're like bigger than what you could even think. He's like, you think they're big, you think they're a certain like dimension or whatever. He's like, you get there and they're fucking even bigger.
They're like mountains. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and they're smaller now because of all they're like kind of rubbled down. They used to be flat, so there used to be a whole nother layer that made them like fucking flat like that. I don't know.
It's impressive to do a 500-year engineering project.
It took 500?
Something like that. I don't know. Maybe like 200. But
if you have a time machine, are you going to when they're being constructed?
And I'm going right to Knossos.
What's that?
Okay, so...
oh, fuck, here we go.
Yeah,
What's Knossos?
Let's summarize this real quick. So you know about the Bronze Age collapse?
No.
There, about 3,000, 3,500-ish years ago, there was a flourishing world civilization around the Mediterranean, known world civilization around the Mediterranean. There were all kinds of people doing trade and, like, yeah, we're cities and writing and all that. And then shit just went to shit, and it went into a dark age. And it was, a lot of stuff got fucked up and lost. But they had an ancient civilization that was destroyed by a volcano. And they were great. It was Knossos. It was an island in the Mediterranean. They had what was it? It was they were just dope as fuck. They had okay. They liked studying. They had a lot of lesbians. We know that because of
whoa,
that's a very important.
No,
are
that's-
you done with this?
yes.
We're here.
Wait, I'm just gonna put it back.
Well, how do you know that?
They just all their art was the best. They were just these weird island
Grant,
New Yorker people.
The lesbians.
Oh,
Tell me, how did they know
Because
that?
New York.
When you say there was a lot, what does that mean? Was it a disproportionate
So
amount
it
to
was-
what there is now?
or historical.
I don't know about compared to now. I just
Or
know back
historically?
then they were like. I know there was an academy there, and I know that they, if you look at their art and what lasts of their culture, because granted most of it was destroyed by a volcano. Oh, opium. They had a lot of opium and mushroom use. That's the other thing. And they liked cows.
Are you
And they
saying-
had
wait,
ocean
wait,
fairies.
wait,
You're not
wait.
elaborating.
Okay, the
You're
You're
lesbians
avoiding
is
the
point.
lesbian
Lesbian.
question.
If you look at their art, and it wasn't just lesbian, they were just homos because the women in the art, they all have long skirts and they're all topless, and all the men, they just have short skirts. And so they were really enjoying themselves on this island. That's the point.
Okay.
And that's, and if you look at the women at their haircuts, they look like lesbians.
That's what I was gonna
Wait,
ask.
wait, what
Were
does
they
that
like
mean?
pretty much
Yeah,
like
they have like
lesbians
short
now?
hair, and they
Yeah.
look kind of like, you know, and also because of the old art style, they're drawn more like dudes. And
No.
like that just looks like a lesbian.
No, they were not drawn like dudes. They were probably drawn like accurately. There's a lot of like dude,
What? Have you seen?
you know, like lesbians now who wear like flat brim hats, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that.
They were like those. They were very just butch. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got
Yeah.
my flannel.
Yeah.
Going into a gas
He
station.
tried slipping it in like, oh, it was the art style. It wasn't. We know it wasn't.
Interesting. So they had a lot of lesbians, and then
Mushrooms. and
Mushrooms?
opium.
Mushrooms, opium, cows.
Wait.
And they liked the ocean. They were big on fish and ocean, and they drew fish in their art.
Several of those things are not like the others. Cows? How is that?
Because
as-
cows go with the mushrooms.
How?
What?
Oh, because
Cows
they make
manure.
the manure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, okay.
They're also fish were probably plentiful, but cows you could probably only have like a certain. You're on a small island.
Fair.
You can only have a couple fucking cows walking around,
Yeah. I mean,
and they taste good.
well, I don't imagine you eating that much of it. Do you?
That's what made it even better. Because they're not eating a lot, because there's not a lot of them. So they're like, the few amount of cows we do have is fucking delicious. If we, you know what I mean? It's a
factory farm.
what's it called?
Yeah, I agree.
The novelty of it, right?
I suppose.
Yeah, making the meat like a sacred thing. But also cows were really popular before the Bronze Age collapse. And that's why they're still popular in India, I think, because
No.
they've been popular.
But Indians
that long.
don't eat them.
No, but you still
That's
get your
why.
milk and your mushroom.
I thought
Which is
they didn't
good.
drink the milk.
They don't? Wow,
I don't
that's
know.
crazy.
Oh, I don't know.
Do they?
I don't. If they're not, I can't imagine why they're sacred.
No, because
What?
Indian people. My friend was just telling me he's going to an Indian wedding, and someone was like, "Oh, what is there going to be? Buttermilk chicken?" And he was like, "Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that shit." He was like, didn't seem like he was happy about going, but buttermilk chicken, there's butter, so they fucking. You need milk to make butter, right?
Oh, well, I think they use ghee, and I think ghee doesn't have milk in it, but I'm not sure.
That's ChatGPT.
You could just Google that.
Speaking of Chat, who do you think uses ChatGPT more, you or me?
Probably you, but by a small amount, because I'm not always using ChatGPT when I'm using AI.
What else?
Using like Mid-Journey and stuff. Or like
Okay,
Novel
but for
AI,
text.
because Novel AI has absolutely no restrictions, so more
Whoa.
useful.
What is that?
It's just a site that's good.
Novel?
Novel
Well,
AI,
like, what is
yeah.
it, text or is it
Text,
image?
and then it has some image, but the image is really not that good as a universal
So it's
image thing.
unfiltered GPT?
It's the text is what you're trying to use that for. Yeah, but they've only recently added the ability to like ask it to do stuff like ChatGPT. But it's useful. Like when you posted the sarin gas thing, I was like, oh, it's a shame
That's
I saw
what
that later, because you could totally ask it for good sources on that for like a class in academic study.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I'm taking a college class right now. We're learning about sarin gas creation in the United States and in other countries and stuff. I was like, I need to bounce some ideas around to figure out how I'm gonna write about this. So I asked ChatGPT, and it's like, can't talk about that. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it just totally shuts it down.
Totally shuts it down. And it's not like it's like off the internet or anything, but it was basically like, it felt like they were like, yeah, like if we even open the door for this to be talking about sarin gas, like people are going to start asking how to make it and shit.
Yeah.
But I was pretty surprised because it was like, I'm not going to talk about that. And I was like, that was the first time that's happened with me on
Too
GPT.
dangerous to discuss.
Yeah. And then I ended up finding out like, dude, did you know there was a huge sarin gas? There was two big plants. There was one in Alabama, and then that's where they would do the first process of creating it, and then they would ship everything to Denver. And there's a big fucking site in Denver where there was another plant, manufacturing plant, where they would pretty much refine and finalize the entire sarin gas manufacturing. And so there was like something like 40 or 50 like tons of gas at Denver at one point where they would make it. And the whole place now is like super biohazard because they had to shut it down. And the whole land, there's like fucking like acres of land that are like totally fucked. People can't live there because it's still hazardous. So they turn it into a wildlife refuge. So if you go to Denver, this is why Denver...
Sounds like Chernobyl, or like a fallout area you walk into and like, I'm going to use my Rad-X.
I didn't know this, but like this is why Denver is like one of the like weirder cities, and I like how they kind of embrace it. But like right outside the city, there's a big wildlife refuge, and I'm like thinking like it's super close to the city, and I'm thinking like, dude, that's a weird place to like put that. And then I find out why in my fucking class, but it's because the whole fucking ground is like uninhabitable. And then they did like studies on this place, and they were like, they did like a 20-year study, like to what degree are these animals being affected by the because it's not sarin gas that's affecting them, it's like the other stuff that was being used or something. And they were like, it's not affecting like the large mammals, but like all of the like rats and moles and like stuff like that are like literally dying because of it to this day. And they're compensating it by overpopulating. So like there's like a species of rat they found that was like, it's being killed by the gas and stuff, and it knows it, but instead of moving to another area of the refuge where it's less concentrated, it's just staying there because it can dominate this one spot, and it's making up for it by overpopulating, knowing that like 70% of its offspring is going to die.
Neat.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's a rat, a mammal. That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
And like insect style.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're going to die off anyway, so I'll just make like 3 times more kids than I normally would.
This is perfect mutation ground. This is where like the super rats can emerge.
Oh, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
I think we can.
And you can
share
go.
the
People
planet
go,
with
dude.
them.
People go and drive around on the refuge. There's like buffalo and shit. Yeah.
We need to overcompensate and have a bunch of cats, and then just like cats roaming the street to catch the rats. I feel like this is a problem that's circular, but that's okay.
Cats are a check on every mammal in the ecosystem smaller than them. They are ruthless bastards.
Yeah.
And they were a check on us until we wiped out the ones that were big enough to be that mostly.
Yeah.
I don't know, like if we had killed all the lions and tigers and pumas and jaguars, I would be sad, but I'd also be like, fucking get it.
Okay, wait. Does catnip work on all sizes of cat?
I don't know, but it makes them more hyper and likely to attack on the little ones, so I don't think it'd be a good strategy.
Well, I mean, that'd still be pretty fun. I mean, you don't have to be
Interesting.
around. You just like kind of throw the catnip or something. Isn't it just kind of like a? They take a nap.
Well, I mean, usually after, because they get all tuckered out because they're running around.
Oh,
But it
interesting.
makes them, it's like coffee for them.
Oh, okay. I saw them like I thought they just rolled around.
They do that like they're having like a weird MDMA trip. They're like,
I like cities that have like cats like running around. Because it's like
Why?
you know like in New York if there's like a cat running
Yeah.
around, the like animal control will come and get it and like
Mhm.
remove it. I like the cities where they just say like, hey, just let them like roam around, because then there's no rats. Like New York City has a lot of rats because there's no cats. If you just dropped like 1,000 cats in Manhattan, they would eliminate all of the rodents like immediately. But they don't let them do that. They like capture the cats, and so I like.
there's a hygienic problem with cats, toxoplasmosis. That's actually, there's a parasite that like most cats have, and it's a human can get it, and I think your system gets rid of it pretty quickly, but it can kill kids.
What's
and
worse,
pregnant
that or the
mothers.
rats?
It's
Cats.
you don't want a lot of rats, but if you just have a populace swarming with cats, you're gonna have a toxo problem. So you wanna
Okay.
I say
You don't
we
want
could
cat
deal with it.
swarms.
We could deal with that.
We should use snakes instead.
No.
mass snakes that are trained for meat.
Yeah, well, yeah. Wasn't there a time where they used snakes to get rats, or was it? I remember they dropped it off like an island. I don't know if I think it was terrible for the ecosystem, but
Everything's terrible for the ecosystem.
yeah, but it was It might have been effective, and like I think that's always worth a shot if we don't know if it is gonna work or not.
Grant, what's been on your mind?
I'm thinking about the ecosystem, man.
Are you thinking about Israel?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Are you thinking about Palestine?
Yes.
What are you thinking about?
I was. Fuck, man. You gotta.
Have you read the wiki?
I haven't read
Are you on the
wiki.
right side or not? I like it when people say that. They go, "Are you on the right side?" and you don't know which side they're referring to.
And you say obviously,
And
yes.
you're like, "I'm with your side," and they're like,
I,
"What is it?"
It's a fucking mess because Israel, they got attacked and now they're gonna kill everyone.
Yeah.
And I kind of get it, but it's.
I appreciate the fact that you have an opinion on it.
I-
Because
so-
Danny doesn't. I could ask him and he would just be like, "Oh, I don't."
See, this is I'm gonna get reverse Me Too'd, but the
No
point
one's
is-
watching this.
Okay,
It's-
perfect.
That's the best part. Is
Perfect.
no one's gonna see this.
Then
You don't have to say it.
no, I'm like pro Israel, but I'm like fuck, you gotta not mass murder people because the.
But that's
so
everyone's stance.
Yes,
almost.
but literally they're I mean it for some specific shit. Like their defense minister guy was a guy that really previously their government said, like, this guy is this insanely racist right-winger that is, like, too far out for us, and he's running the defense ministry, and there's shit they've done and said in the past where they were like, okay, we want to make Israel exclusively one race, but we're gonna like say we're not doing that, but also still they gotta defend themselves. So it's like so here's the problem. I'm like okay, I'm pro-Israel. They gotta defend themselves, and then I'm like, but we gotta look at the context. And then they're like, no, you're making comparisons. You can't compare Israel and Hamas, and it's like, no, you can. Hamas is evil and way worse. But also, there's some fucked up shit Israel has done, and it's so hard to...
Who wins in a conventional battle?
No,
hold on. You don't know what I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
The cartel versus Hamas. Who comes out on top in that?
Depends on the environment. It's whoever has the home field advantage.
Fair.
You think that they're that close?
I think they both take that much advantage of the terrain.
Interesting.
And they're, like, they knowing the way of the place.
I feel like the cartel would fuck them up. I do, dude.
And it depends on context so much. That's why it's a hard question.
Who do you think wins?
Who do I think wins?
Yeah.
Probably Hamas.
You think so?
Yeah, like the cartel.
I feel like they don't have that many. I just feel like the cartel has numbers. You know what I mean?
You should have gone on World's Deadliest Warrior. Then they would have
That's good. That's a good battle. Oh wait, are you thinking of what I'm thinking of?
Yes, the one where the guy just...
They'd be like, we're gonna do a Comanche versus like a cowboy.
Yes.
That was awesome. That show would not fly today, dude. They would air like one episode and everyone would be like, fucking racist cultural appropriation bullshit.
The moment the ninja says...
Yeah.
Wait, the thing is originally they would have different guys come in and like fight and stuff and show how they would like do these attacks.
Yeah.
Eventually, it just comes as like one white dude who's kind of like bald.
Yeah, it's like one white dude with like a weird leather hat. He's
yeah.
Like, oh, this is what would happen.
It's the same dude actually at one certain point, and so he would just kind of like go ape shit on the dummy, and like he'd be like, this is how a Maori fighter would have done this.
Yeah.
And it was just like, he would go insane on like the thing. It wouldn't just be one strike. It'd be like, wait, what are you even really showing?
Dude.
Anime attack.
That... I don't know, man. I think those scenarios were too, like, hypothetical or something, I guess, like, where it's like, it kind of goes back to like what I was saying with like the comic book characters, where it's like, because they would just be like, they would make up like context, like they would just make up and be like, well, like this guy would do this or that, and it's like, you never know like how that would really go down.
Hear me out. It would be like almost as crazy as if they had like Hamas versus the cartel, though.
Yeah,
Hamas has more. They have better PR and they have more support, both like publicly and in like nearby like Hezbollah and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Cartels don't have that, so like they have different kinds of numbers advantages on each other. It's all context. It's all who's like getting to leverage their home field, because they both have so much
like,
in that.
Also, in our lifetime, we've never seen like a cool war like that. It's always been like U.S. versus like the Afghan farmers, or like I want like something cool, dude. Like I want like. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying.
I know what you mean. A total war between two great powers.
Yeah,
but
that aren't the United States.
We solved that, though, with nuclear stuff, because you just can't have total war anymore. Because if it's...
Okay, but, like militaries that don't have nuclear... Like, I want to see, like, some African like paramilitary group go against like somebody in like Southeast Asia or something, like the Philippines or something like that. Like I want to see it where it's like, what the fuck? No one's ever like thought or prepared for that. It's always been like, how would like the US or like China like size up versus like another like conventional military? Like I want to see like You know what I mean?
There's a lot of that goes on just in Africa and Asia generally.
Yeah.
But it's just nearby people. It's like, oh, the Sudanese are slaughtering the people near them, or something.
Yeah.
It's just like there's, never mind. A lot of different cultural wars in Asia right now.
Yeah, like the Uyghurs.
Yeah, the Uyghur Muslims.
Danny, you wanted to talk about some shit. Marijuana and the general public.
The marijuana and the general public.
What did you have to say about weed? Get it off your chest.
Alright, so I think it has become very common for literally everybody. Like, you would see just an average person going to a dispensary. It's no longer, like, because the legalization, it's just kind of like everyone does it. And it's just, I think that's a good thing, obviously. But I think it's strange now that it still has this element where people think that, like, especially in an older generation, it's like, well, I don't know. I don't think that's legal still. And it's like, things have changed so much, like, in a very relatively short amount of time, that it's weird to have weed.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, an
There's
alarm.
some kid screaming.
Oh, I thought it was an alarm. It was that high pitched a scream. It's weird though because it's federally illegal. So it is on some level like we are on U.S. land, but we're in a state. But we are in.
But it's not enforced.
Okay, wait. It's such a coward's move because they haven't actually taken a stance essentially, and it's just like, wait, come on, either just yes or no. But it's all issue.
I think it's deliberate. I think a state, if it's smart, will always, and this is short-term smart, not really smart, but like Machiavellian, you keep a law on the book that you can't possibly enforce, and then you can selectively enforce it, and if someone tries to fight it, it's like, no, this is the law, dude. Like, you can't fight the law. You're just saying everyone does it. That doesn't sound like a good excuse. Like
that's
the
like
Mann
a Marine
Act.
Corps-ism.
That's, do you know about the Mann Act?
No.
It was illegal to travel across state lines for lewd purposes with a woman you weren't married with. So if you're like with your girlfriend or fiance and you're in the car and you're traveling across state lines, or there's proof that you two have traveled together, you could get imprisoned for a while. And that's how they got
in the United States?
The whole United States. That's how they got Jack Johnson, who was this great heavyweight boxer, because they wanted to imprison him because they didn't like him.
Yeah.
There's just Mann Act, you violated that. Fucking everyone had, like, you could never have a cop.
You know how
every
else they
state
do
crossing.
that?
How?
Taxes.
Yeah, that.
That's how they got him. Isn't that what they say about, like, the mobster, Al Capone?
Yeah.
Like, did you know Al Capone got arrested for taxes?
Well,
Not
you
all
have-
the other illegal shit he did?
Well, no. Okay. So you have to report your profits from all the illegal things you've done, and not doing so is a crime. Because it's still income.
Yeah, you just write on the form, crime.
Well, yes, that is what they yes. And you say, but then you'd get caught, and yes.
But it's illegal to not report your crime. It's one more level of illegal.
Yeah, does this sound like a major bureaucracy thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's so counter-incentive that you're trying to get people on more.
Yeah, well, exactly. Again, I love tax evasion. I mean, people shouldn't do crimes, is what I'm going to say. but
What if you disagree with the law, though?
But,
Why? Why should people commit crimes, Dan?
They shouldn't do crimes, but if they do, they shouldn't get caught.
They shouldn't?
Well, if they're going to do crimes.
They shouldn't.
Yeah, they should try not to get caught.
Oh, they should try not to get caught.
Yeah.
So you're on record claiming people should commit crimes.
No.
And try to do that under...
No, they shouldn't, but if they do, they...
You want people to go kill people. You want as long as they don't get caught.
I mean, people do that.
And that's what you want.
No, I'm saying
You, Danny, that's what you want.
No. If they're gonna do it, they shouldn't get caught. Like, they should try not to get
Right.
caught. A lot of people,
So you're okay with murder as long as people don't get caught.
most of the people are like...
I'm not, but you go ahead.
No, most people are like crackheads breaking into people's houses and like killing them.
You're totally fine with
No,
that.
that's
as long
bad.
as they don't get caught.
No, they're gonna get caught because they're crackheads breaking into someone's house. It's gonna be terrible. And they might still kill the person, and that's awful.
I'm not. I think murdering people is horrible. I've never advocated for someone to be killed ever, ever.
You know,
No one. I've never advocated for one of my college professors or someone I work with
J.K. Rowling.
to be murdered. I haven't.
you know, I don't know if that one of those is true.
I've
but
never advocated for the guy who wrote me a ticket for parking on a red curb to be murdered. I haven't done it.
have you ever parked backwards? You know that's illegal here. Like on the street.
What are you talking about? Oh, well, I don't do that.
It's true that killing
Do
is
you?
wrong.
No, I have a friend who plays Magic and has a lamb as his name. Who did that?
Dude, you want to know something funny? I was watching YouTube shorts, and okay, so I follow TC Rockets pretty closely. Or I don't, not like closely, but like I follow them, and every time I see a Rockets video, I'm like, oh, let me see what's going on. So I watch a short, and like, I forget what fucking it was even about, but I just hear like Lamb commentating it, and I was like, Lamb again? He's like in their content now, dude.
Really?
Yes, he was commentating one of the shorts. Well, it was like a clip from it might have been the CDH tournament or something else, but it was like, I don't know. It's just like pleasant, like to be like, oh, this is like a really big like content creator I like. Oh, Lamb's doing it. I'm like, that's awesome because he's the homie.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
But don't
funny.
park
What was his
backwards.
reaction to that? Was
He
he
was
pissed?
so mad.
Was he was pissed?
Yeah. He was like,
Did he compare it to like a Maoist like
yeah.
evil atrocity?
He was he fought for this country, and he shouldn't be getting a ticket for parking.
I love that, dude. That's the funniest shit ever. Because he's right, and it's also like the most like conservative thing anyone could say. I'm a fucking veteran, dude. This is bullshit. I went to Iraq.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be fucking subject to this shit.
But it's lamb. So.
Exactly, yeah.
I agree.
No, but it's fine if you want people to be killed. I'm just saying I don't.
No, hear me out. I'm not saying that all crime are the same level, but I'm also saying that there's a lot of people who do crimes, and it's just like, I think heat of the moment crimes are kind of stupid. I think that if someone's going to do a crime, it should be because like they thought that they wanted to do it. There's a lot of crimes that are people who just got mad, and I think that's like a really stupid way for someone to die. Like,
okay,
Because someone was pissed off.
so traffic, yeah, like someone just getting killed because of traffic. I think that's
So,
the stupidest thing in the world.
You only like premeditated crimes. Those ones
Well,
you
if you're
think
gonna
people
do
should...
them, I understand it.
Is do it right. Well, okay. See the thing. Murder is wrong, but if you're gonna do it, it also sucks a lot to be caught. Like, I think we can agree that two things can be true: that murder is wrong, but also that getting caught really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, independently.
It's hard
and
to
the
get away
real
with it.
answer to this is don't murder.
I think that
But like, it does suck to be caught.
it's easier to get
It's true.
caught if it's premeditated because there's like a clear motive. You know what I mean? Like if there's like a random, if it's some random like robbery in the middle of the night, that's hard to catch because it's kind of like, how are we gonna figure out who could have done this? But if you're like killing like your wife's new husband or something, that's like, oh wait, this guy has like a clear motive. Like it'll be very easy to catch like who might have done this. There's suspects involved, you know each other. But if it's like a stranger, I feel like those are easier to. What do you think?
I agree that when it's random, it's a little bit harder to trace, but also there's that there's like a lurking variable here, which is the people that do random violence tend to be more reckless and not think it through,
Yeah.
and so they're more likely to leave that like trail of evidence. I once in my life encountered a trail of evidence.
What?
It was when I was working security once, I was at one place and they call me over and say, hey, we need you at this other place, we got a problem, and they're like kind of whispering, saying it quiet. So I go over and I see some discarded cigarettes with
Nice.
some newspapers,
A little paper trail.
and then I see a discarded shirt or jersey of some kind, and that this is like 10 feet further, and then another 5 or 10 feet further I see discarded like shorts, and then I see this guy who was shadow boxing in his boxers and talking about like spiders and like the people who were like coming to get him, and that was the kind of thing you find at the end of that trail.
Yeah,
it was
well-
interesting. It was like I was playing a video game.
You certainly wouldn't have had those things on anymore. It wouldn't make any sense. You'd have a separate pair of clothes.
Yeah, no, that's that would be crazy if I found clothes,
Fully
and
clothed.
then clothes, and then someone fully clothed.
If you're still shadow boxing and talking about spiders, it might be even more alarming.
But that's at least interesting because I'm like, okay, this madman prepared. This is someone who, like, he came outside today knowing he was gonna rip off his first set of clothes, and so probably he knows what he's doing with the shadow boxing spider thing. And I would have paid him more of a. I would have been more serious about like, hey, listen, is there an interdimensional thing going on I need to worry about? Is this like a Doctor Who situation? Do you need me to like tell anyone anything? But as is, I was like, oh, this is just a crazy guy. So if he had another pair of clothes, it would have changed the whole ambiance.
Wait, but okay, here's the problem. Wouldn't that also imply it could have been someone else's, and now he's shadow boxing whatever took the first person?
Yeah, it could be like because people are getting zapped and disappearing, like the Rapture.
Yeah, or just that there's a concern that there was a second person, and now where is that second person?
Yeah, they got disintegrated.
Or, or it's crazy where the person shadow boxing did something. I don't know.
Yeah, I got like just shadow boxed into the shadow realm.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. I mean, it would be kind of alarming.
Oh man.
Have you ever encountered anyone with their clothes off in public shadow boxing?
No, but that just sounds like Oceanside every day.
It was Oceanside. It was by the Vista Community Clinic.
Yeah.
Just right in Oceanside.
That's just fucking Oceanside, dude.
Every
I was on
day.
my way. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, fentanyl is a hell of a drug, is what they'd say.
He felt more LSD to me, or just schizophrenia, both of which I gotta respect, you know.
I like when you can't tell. They're indistinguishable.
Sometimes, yeah.
You know, this guy could be tripping or maybe he's just schizophrenic.
That's a dangerous place, but yeah.
Not for public.
Normally it is in public. That's why this, yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who are just schizophrenically wigging out in their own homes, and they just keep it to that, and they're functional members of society.
Huh. Like,
That's or
Do
other
you know
mental
any?
issues.
teachers and like.
My college
Too.
teachers.
You
That's a
think-
good example. My fucking professors.
Yeah, you're saying normally.
So there's them,
Schizophrenic?
yeah, imposing it on me and my classmates.
Any
Who else do we
specific.
know?
Like.
I mean, I know some of their names. I'm not going to say their names. I'll just say it's all of them for now.
Fair, yeah.
You know, maybe not. Maybe not like a couple that I really like, but then even them, I'm thinking like, no, maybe.
No, I don't think schizophrenic is a good way to put it, but I mean, probably
I would.
on a range of.
I would.
I mean, everyone has something, so like, they just like they turn locks twice or something. I don't know. Check the stove before they leave.
That's not schizo.
I mean, to a certain degree, there's like a.
That's not schizo. If you check your stove before you leave your house,
I mean, like, just, like, certain things, like, if you do enough of these in a row, it's just, like, indicators. And so not, like, one particular thing is bad. So, like, I imagine a lot of your teachers probably have that. They're not, like...
So they're schizotypal is what you're saying,
Yes,
but not
exactly.
schizophrenic.
They might get closer, some of them, than others. I don't know.
So all of psychology, if you actually read like the DSM and it's saying like here's how you diagnose a disease, that's what they'll say. It's just here's a list of symptoms and based on how many of the boxes they check is how severe a case they have. So it's completely, this is just totally 100% new science. And the fact that there are people that think we totally understand psychology, it's like we don't at all. We just discovered psychology 100 years ago or something, and we don't know anything about it yet.
I agree. But the other thing I agree with is lobotomy.
50 years ago we were doing them, I think.
Why, Danny?
No, hear me out.
Why?
Lobotomy is an important option for everyone to have for themselves.
Uh-huh.
Before it was a choice.
You just want to do this to your clients.
No.
Yes, you do.
No, they already had this happen.
Railroad spike through the eye.
Yeah, that's unrelated. No, everyone should have the option, if they want to. Before it was inflicted on people by like a group, like, oh, your family, like, oh no, they're insane, they need a lobotomy to help them. I think that's bad, but like, if you want a lobotomy, you think that's a good choice for yourself, you should be able to do that, you know.
Like a plastic surgery, like people get their nose done, you get your lobes done.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be,
people
I don't
get
think
lips
that'd be
done.
good.
It's just some people get a lobotomy.
That's, I don't know. I feel like it would be, it's like in Canada when I feel like assisted suicide should be an option, but the moment they made it an option in Canada, they started recommending it to people. And it's like, no, you've gone a bit too, you can't
Kill
say
yourself,
that.
I love the Canadian, like, doing it with a Canadian accent makes it better, too.
Okay, wait, so, like, advertising or like
just like as a medical option,
a billboard.
Nurses like just
kill
like
yourself.
Okay, we're gonna go over your options. So one of them is like if you want to kill yourself, the state will fund it. The next one and like saying, well, this is probably your best option. Like it's
Wait, so like would it be like at the end of your receipt, be like kill yourself now?
No, just when you're going over your options. That's all. Just like your insurance does cover this
entirely.
So
Who gives a shit if your insurance covers it? You're fucking dead.
Well, think about it.
I don't understand this.
Choice.
I just think it's funny that it happens in Canada and like pretty much nowhere else.
Well, Canada's this autocratic totalitarian state. Like they're like the new Saddam Hussein land.
Yeah. It's funny. It's also funny to think about Trudeau being like, oh, you know, if you want to kill yourself, you can fucking do it there, pal. We made it so you can fucking... It's there. The resources are there. Our government is providing you
they have an active
critical
interest
resources.
Who gets the money when the person has no next of kin? Is it the government?
I like that. That's what you only think about when people die, is where their money goes.
Well, you want to look at incentives here.
Yeah.
And if the government's getting the money, that's an interesting incentive.
Do they?
I don't know.
I don't think
That's
so.
what I'm
It
asking.
probably just goes to their...
What if they have no next of kin? Is what I'm asking. Because
Seems
someone
like
who's like in a
going
point
wasted.
where they're like gonna
Don't they
commit
hunt
suicide.
down someone then?
Okay, if that's what they do, I don't know. But like, I imagine if there's enough people committing suicide, if there's like enough like not low enough birth rate, that eventually you can just like have no next of kin, and the government gets the money. I think that'd be pretty sick for them. Think about all the money to be made.
I feel like ChatGPT won't want to talk about suicide, but it does seem like a good money scheme.
I think that it's kind of like, you know, the penny thing, where they got rid of the penny in Canada.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in physical currency, like you can still pay like 0.01 on the internet, obviously, and like credit card transactions. But if you're paying in cash, you can get like there's no longer a penny.
It'll be like fives.
Exactly.
Their state will go through a legal process known as probate. During this process, the deceased person's assets, including money, will cover any outstanding debts and taxes. If there's anything remaining, it will be allocated to the provincial or territorial government.
Yes.
Oh, ooh, you're onto something.
You got to get the whole family to kill themselves. Imagine.
That's strong.
Here's the great one. There's a lot of kids who are like, they're just some depressed teenager because they're like 15, and they're just like, my God, I can't wait till I'm 18 so I can kill myself. And it's gonna be great. And then like they decide to do it even though they don't really want to because they're just a dumb kid, and then they just do it anyways because it's easy and the government's
Well,
helping
this is
them.
why, dude. Like we should we need to. I don't know. It's like we either need to raise the adulthood age to
21.
like 20 or 21. I say 20.
I think 20 is a good
Because
one.
18 feels really... Because what we have now is like you have 18, 19-year-olds. Well, they'll do fucked up stuff. And then there's like always the defense of being like, oh, well, like they're just a kid. Or like they didn't know. Or like their frontal lobe's not fully developed. And then my thing is
I feel
like...
18's a pretty good age though because you're letting them drive at 16, so...
But should we even be doing that? I mean, like they crash so much
I
more
think
than...
that's a good cultural institution. I like that. I don't like that cars are mandatory, but I love that idea of just like, you're 16, fuck it, you're old enough to use a car. You can go to Maine if you want, please don't. Like, I think that's a good institution.
I don't know. I think we gotta fucking rethink that a little bit. Because when they made it, what was the life expectancy? Like 35? You know what I mean?
I don't think
So
it's
like-
35.
Like, whatever. Now we live way older, and now we know the frontal lobe fully develops when you're like 25 or some shit.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And if you're...
Eliminate that excuse. Eliminate the excuse of being like, well, they're an adult, but also like they're not really like fully thinking like an adult. It's like one or the other.
Yeah, but they gatekeep a lot of stuff behind age, and so it's better to give people more rights sooner, even if sometimes that hurts them, I think.
And others.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta give them... Yeah, it's like giving someone some amount of legal autonomy. Like, that's the...
Right.
By the time you're 18, you are smart enough to... I don't know, like exercise some amount of power, even if you're just gonna fuck up. I don't know, I could see how you could maybe have a society where, like, you weren't an adult until 20 or, like, 20-something, but, like, I don't think we have that society at all. Like,
Right.
our public education is not a... I think if we did, let's say, 24 years of compulsory education, that would not be a good idea. I think we would fuck it up. And it
You
wouldn't
could
be
do
done well.
18 years of
So
that.
it would be till you're 23.
No, I mean, like, you
Or
could do, like,
do
until
it.
they're 18, and then... I don't know, I've
Decide
always
not to.
said there should be, like, a transition period. Because basically, like, I turned 18 in high school, and I still was, like... It was weird. It's like, you still have to... You're still in school.
Yeah.
You have to ask to go piss. You basically have to follow all the same rules as you did when you were 5, but you're also an adult.
Yeah, that's a weird
It's
thing.
like there needs to be like a 2-year period where it's like you get like some things then, and then like once you turn like 20, then it's like we'll open the floodgates. Like you can get a gun or like whatever else.
Yeah, rent a car,
like
everything.
all that stuff. Yeah. But what do I know?
It would be nice if it was a smooth transition, but there's also just the simplicity of like, fuck it, you're 18. But then it isn't that simple because then it's 18, but then also 21, but then also
They're
25
never going to
for some
change it
things.
too. Is the thing.
No, it's like daylight savings.
Well, they
Well,
might.
They might work on that.
Maybe. Psychedelic
It's not.
psychotherapy's making progress. That'll win before daylight savings.
Psychotherapy.
Well, help the
Psychedelic
other.
psychotherapy with like mushrooms and stuff.
You think that happens first?
Yes.
Yeah, before daylight savings. That's how much.
How
they
does
need
that
daylight
happen? Is
savings.
that like in a controlled environment, like a doctor's, like
Yeah.
with a
It's-
clipboard, like watching you trip shrooms or
That's how
something?
they're gonna get
Well, they
the
ask-
boomers to accept it. Yes.
Yeah. They ask you questions and shit, and it's supposed to help with depression a lot. And if that is the case, then you're probably right.
Why not use it?
And then people will finally understand why daylight savings is stupid.
That's the follow up.
Exactly. So one will follow the other. So once that passes, then we're going to get rid of daylight savings.
I can't imagine a worse way to spend an intense trip that was supposed to be life-changing than in a sterile room with a doctor with a clipboard asking you questions occasionally and, like, observing you. Like, that sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like a sci-fi nightmare that wouldn't happen in real life.
Yeah.
But it might be life-changing still because of, like, the results.
Yeah, I guess if they're a good doctor, but I'm just like, I don't know if I trust the average doctor.
Well, they would have to have...
Speaking.
It would be like proven result. You could probably go and like talk to a specific doctor. It might be harder to get with certain ones than others.
Yeah, you could find a good person for it. You gotta get them to do it in the shamanic setting. That's what you find the doctor who's like, all right, listen, yeah, I'll go with you to like deep wilderness, and like we'll bring a drum and everything. Like if we'll do it right.
You know, it's everyone has a different like way that would work for them. I imagine there might not be a doctor who would do. I don't know. Maybe one day.
That's the far future. You just have to don't get a doctor, get a consultant who's a shaman, and then it'll all work.
Oh, I feel like you might get some other issues with that. The doctor, the consultant might just be taking like drugs with you. It would be like blind leading, slightly, blind. But that would be bad. But maybe it would be good. That would just be interesting.
We should do this playing Magic one day.
I'm down to.
It's harder though.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna move all this into my garage. I'm not doing that.
I think the hard part is having a Magic game and really having the camera accurately capture the cards and the gameplay.
Right.
And that
you would have to have
requires
like,
a bit of editing.
Yeah. Which I can't
put images of cards up as they're played if it's not visible.
Yeah.
I agree.
And that's doing that for a long period of we're gonna sit down and play DH for like 3 hours, which isn't at all unusual. That's serious time to sit down and edit that for all the cards. So that's the drawback. But maybe there's a way to just do it where the camera is crisp and you can mostly see stuff.
I don't know, dude. So much fucking shit. I want to make a studio at some point. Like, Kaylee and I were talking about that. Like, at the next fucking office we have or wherever, we might make, like, a little studio room or something so that we can make content. Like, we could maybe do something there, but I don't know.
That'd be really cool. I like a camera.
Probably a couple. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about?
Thinking about pyramids.
What's going on in the world? Great. Always thinking about pyramids. I'm trying to find stuff.
Apparently these are vegan.
Who's a vegan?
These.
No, those are gluten-free.
Gluten-free. Sorry.
I didn't even notice tasting
Dude,
them.
what have you been doing this week? When did you quit your job?
A couple weeks ago.
What? Did you know that?
No, that's very private.
Yeah.
You just said fuck it?
Yeah.
I don't like it?
Well, I have money saved and I'm looking for other stuff, and yeah, I just was not enjoying it.
Are you gonna move?
Possibly.
Really?
Yeah, depends. I'm definitely going to get out of my house at some point near, because family shit would probably just be better to be living somewhere that's not there. But moving far is, the question is, it would have to be a good place, and then I would have to be having friends there, because I do have friends here, so it would be nice to live somewhere around here.
You're not
So
ready
that's a
to
concern.
embrace the full role of a hermit?
That's, the problem with being a full hermit is to do it 100%, you gotta cut 100% of shit out. You gotta go to a total, full nature place, and you gotta risk your life like 25% at least.
You're not ready.
I don't want to go full. I'm not gonna fast and wander into the desert yet.
Yeah.
When you do, just let us know. We'll tell you not to. You'll get an intervention and everything.
Take out an insurance policy.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. I can. You can do that, by the way. Even if you just tell me before that. And don't say anything publicly for that. Well, not a lot of money.
Danny, you're obsessed with people dying
No.
and then trying to get their stuff after.
No.
Yes, you are.
What do you mean?
You always ask, when I die, you want my magic cards and shit.
Okay,
You
but
think about this more than the average person.
I
so-
actually deal with it more than the average person as well. There's a lot
This
of
is going to be your specialty niche also
No.
for your career.
No, I'm not.
Where you're going to be like, ma'am, now that your husband is dead.
No, I don't advise anybody, but like there's just how maybe there's just like a lot of people who have passed away from like COVID and stuff like that, and there's a lot of like when you die, there is tax implications. That's it.
And you love those implications.
No, I don't. I just
You
don't with
love
them.
what
I
that
think
implies.
no. When you have to think about it, you just think about it more often than the average person. And it's not like a ton. It's not like every single day, but like it's something that because I've dealt with a couple, like more in double digits at least. It's just something I think about sometimes.
And it doesn't bother you as much as it bothers other people, which
Why?
is why you're the guy.
Why should it bother you? Is when someone dies.
Other people are normally too like, oh, this is fucked up, like I don't want to deal with this or whatever.
Wait, what do you mean?
But you're just like, you're like pulling out forms and like filling them out, and you're like,
I don't know who this
you're gonna
person
get a good
is.
chunk.
Wait,
You're
no.
like,
Yes, exactly.
Let me
Wait.
crunch some numbers. Oh,
Wait.
Uncle Sam's only taking 25%. Marion, I know you're sad about your husband, but you're getting a good deal out of this one. You're just
Wait. I don't know Marion's husband. I don't know Marion really.
Right.
Number,
people you speak to are just, you know,
no,
you don't think about them.
I know. Not that much.
Right. So
But
this
like
is why you're the guy.
Why is that so wrong?
You're the guy.
What do you mean?
Other people would have the tactfulness to be like, I'm so sorry about your loss. Like, obviously, we wouldn't want it this way.
It happened a year ago, normally. Because taxes are done
And
retrospectively.
you just have a big smile on your face, and you're like,
The dust should have settled at this point. Like, if the person just died, you know what they're not doing? They're not talking to me. What I always...
Yeah, now that it's a year, it's like, alright, come on.
Yeah, what I always say to people is like, if someone's talking to the tax guy, that's the last place. They didn't. It's not like, oh, my husband got me a new car, and you don't go and text your tax guy. You text your friend. If one of my clients texted me when like she got a new car, that'd be weird. I don't. What? Why would you do that? If someone like when your parent or your like someone else dies in your life, if you texted me first. Question marks, thinking emoji. They're just gonna be what? And you would say, "Yeah, you're right. That'd be weird."
dude, I love the idea of you, like, sitting there with a form, and you, like, lean over, and you're like, was the deceased buried with any valuables? Those could be write-offs.
No, they can't.
And you're,
be
like,
first
grinning,
off.
and
that doesn't actually happen.
a wedding ring, you say, how many carats was that? And then you
grave
lean
robber?
forward and you go, and where was this person buried? And you're like writing shit down.
Okay, like I wouldn't do that, but
Yes, you would, dude.
no. I'd think about it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do that. It's also not tax deductible, obviously. I know that's part of the scam, but still.
Steal some of their bone marrow, no one will notice.
Why is the bone marrow valuable
You
to
can
you?
sell.
I don't know.
Imagine sick people need it, maybe. I don't know. But I don't think there's a huge black market for.
Bones?
I don't know.
I saw a painting, you know, it's probably like 15th century, like super old painting or whatever, and it was like, the guy had like, it was like a fucking guy, you know, had all these papers and shit on his desk and like candles, and he had like a skull. You know, those are, like, dudes like in the, like, old ass societies could have like skulls and like stuff like that sitting around for like study.
Was it just a normal skull, or was it decorated or hollowed out or something?
I think that is like the skull's top
I don't know.
broken or something.
But it's like a cool, like, in like today, what would have to happen to where you could allow someone Like, could a doctor have like a skull on his desk and be like, I'm using this to reference the bones of humans?
Maybe
like,
an artist.
An artist could get away with that,
I think
but you
so.
can't legally have human remains, can you? I don't know. Because that's a cool accessory to have.
What?
I wouldn't
No,
want
I-
it.
Why?
Well,
Why?
Well, okay, the only skull that it would be okay to have and not be disrespectful is your own skull from a time travel thing. Then, if I'd had a crazy time travel adventure and at the very end of it I came out with a different version of myself's skull, I would keep that, but otherwise it feels disrespectful and like weird.
What if the person okayed it? If they're
they
like,
were just
keep my
it,
remains.
that's yeah, then that's fine. I think.
What?
What's wrong with that? It's
What?
a little bit weird for most people. Most people
Is it
aren't gonna
more
wanna
weird
see
if
it.
you know them?
No, I don't think that really changes it. But I think
Really?
even if you are like a person who it's morally okay that you have it, given the West society we live in, you shouldn't show it off. I feel the same way about cannibalism. Like you could theoretically do ethical cannibalism, but like don't tell me.
oh.
Who could theoretically do that ethically?
Well,
Listen.
if you anyone who was okay with it, if they okayed it, but then
Would
that
you?
just get
When they die, they're like,
Great
depends
thinking!
on circumstances.
You would okay someone doing that?
Well,
When
it
you
depends
eat
on
somebody-
circumstances. Also depends on circumstances. If we're in a survival situation, I want everyone in it to survive. So if I'm just dying and I know I'm going to be dead anyways, they shouldn't just waste me. I mean, at least use me as bait or something. Like, don't just die. But the problem with okaying that is you immediately make the social situation way weirder, because it's like, well, I know Steve has been thinking real drastically, and when you tell Steve, hey, like, you know, if I die, my meat belongs to the group, like, Steve might be doing something drastic. So it's bad it's like socially it doesn't make sense, but I can see how it could make sense and be theoretically the thing to do. Like if I were in like a Donner Party situation,
oh, okay.
if I were you know, and someone is dead already, it's like I want to live, so I might eat the dead. I don't know, I've never been there, but you want to live, right?
Okay, wait.
It's a taboo, but you want to live.
What if someone's like, there's these cultures that when they like pass away, they have everyone eat it in their family, eat them?
Yeah, that's okay as long as it's healthy. Don't eat the brain.
Okay, but you would be down for that type of cannibalism?
If it were nice, if it were a good, trusting culture, yeah, where it wasn't, like, I don't want it to happen that, like, someone is put to death by a chieftain and then people, like, eat them, because I think that'd be creepy. But if it's, like, a healthy, you're giving back to your community thing, yeah, that's wonderful. Because give it back to the people, don't give it to the worms. Makes sense.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think you're wrong.
It seems nice, too, because it's like Avatar. It's like, it's ecosystem, circle of life.
Oh, the new Avatar. Are you going to see the new Avatar?
I saw
There's
that.
another.
No, I know. But
When?
well, it's coming. There's like 4 movies that got approved. There's another one coming out.
Fucking Christ.
Right?
I know there's another, I just don't know when, but I will see it, because I feel like I need to properly judge Avatar 2. I need to see Avatar 3 and
dude,
4
stop
to understand
making
if it's
shit.
good or not. No, did you see it?
No, I saw
It
the
was-
first one and I didn't even like
it
that.
was- It was visually impressive.
It was. It really was.
Who gives a shit, dude?
No, you
It's so
should.
bad.
No, you should watch it.
It was visually impressive and horrible plot-wise and character-wise.
I
But
don't
it's
care if
still funny.
something's visually impressive though. As a movie, it has to be more than that.
Maybe you're. Maybe,
It was-
I don't know. I
It
don't know.
was
You should check it out
exactly
though.
that. The story and plot sucked.
Have you seen Prisoners? I watched that yesterday with Kaylin.
No. Is it good?
Oh, dude. Are you kidding me? It was fucking awesome.
Prisoners.
Yeah.
Is it a movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not seen it.
It's like
Yeah,
a,
it's really
kind of like a mystery. Like these 2 girls get kidnapped and
Oh,
to figure
how
out.
horrible. We watched Get Out, and that was just terrifying. And now we're going to watch this. That was the Peel...
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
You didn't like it?
Well, it was good, but it was just so scary.
I wasn't a huge
Anything
fan.
that's like kidnapping, I just I hate it. So that
Whose movie is Get Out?
Prisoners. That I think that was John's.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I've seen that one actually. What?
Oh, dude, I'm not watching Avatar.
No, you should. You just give it a chance.
Well, it
It's only
was-
like
I have.
5
I gave
hours.
the first Avatar a chance, and I'm not a fan.
Was it? Did you? They're big screen experiences. So if you didn't see it at the movies,
I
then-
did.
Yeah, a large
Well,
screen.
I
okay,
don't.
then you just didn't like it. Okay, you're just seeing through all the
I will
bullshit
admit though,
of the
I'm a
plot that
fucking movie
underlies it.
snob. Like I'm admittedly a snob when it comes to this stuff. Where I have a high threshold and probably a different bar than most people of what I think a good movie is. I've just accepted that.
Okay, well, okay, here's my take. Grant was suggesting I watch The Thing of Water, or Shape of... Anyways,
Avatar: Way of Water. I never even saw Shape of Water.
Shape of Water, oh, different
I know that's
movie.
the fish one.
Yeah. Anyways, that one, the blue people. I kept on saying, no, I'm not going to see it. I know it's bad. I've heard it's stupid. And it came on HBO Max for free. It's actually pretty good, honestly. Like, it's not like this, as you said, story bad. It's kind of stupid, but it looks really good. And like, there's certain scenes that have gratification to them. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I forget how long it was. I saw it over 2 sittings, so I didn't watch it as a typical movie. But it was pretty good. Like, it was too long. That's why I'm not sure if it's like 4 hours or 5.
You're never gonna give me a watch. This.
It's free on HBO Max.
I don't give a fuck. I'm
Okay.
not watching the Blue People movie. I saw the first one. I watched the
hear
first
me
one.
out. No.
I didn't like it.
The Blue Man Group's actually pretty good.
Not
the
the Blue
second
Man
and
Group.
the third one is also
The
pretty-
Blue People on a different planet. I don't care. Oh, and by the way, the
sorry.
main character is a Marine. Get the fuck out. I'm not doing it.
Are you saying that a Marine would never become a blue person?
I remember there was a part where he's like, I'm an O311 and I'm on another planet. Like, fucking. I'm not getting into that. Dude. I don't care. It's just, I don't give a fuck.
He wants the same thing. You were talking.
Speaking of Marines, I gotta tell you guys this story. Okay, I totally forgot about this. Okay, I'm at work, and to give context, our office is split into like 2 rooms, and you have to go through our office to get to the back office. And right now, a colonel is working in the back office. So constantly, for like the last couple of months, people come into our office all the time. I just assume they're going back to see him. I'm sitting at work behind my computer, and someone comes in. I don't think anything of it. And I look up from my computer, and right above the monitor, I see a guy's face. And I just go, hi. And he goes, hey yourself. And I was like, okay. Like, I don't say anything to him. I was just like, what the fuck's going on or whatever. And he starts talking to the Marines that are like sitting in the office or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then I'm like, this guy must be someone important or something. And I stand up like a minute later because he's like still in there. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, why is he like kind of talking to me like that? It's a fucking 1-star general, and he's like in our office. I think I kind of pissed him off because I didn't see his rank. I only saw like his chin up, and he goes, "Hey yourself," and that's kind of like I asked after. I was like, "What does that mean?" And they're like, "I think that's like corporate speak for like fuck you too." I think he expected me to like stand up and be like, "Oh, like how's it going? Like what can I help you with?" But like I didn't know it was fucking someone important, and so like he was like asking us questions and shit, and like I helped like answer some of the questions, and then he walked out, and then I was like, "Who the fuck was that guy?" He's like the J2 for AFRICOM, so he's in charge of the intel operations for AFRICOM, and I'm just thinking like, like, if I piss that guy off or something, you know what I mean? What does that mean to you? Like, if you're at work and someone comes up and you go, hey yourself.
You said hi, and it's like that's an impolite form of address. I've had it before where I said hey or hi to someone, and they were like, that's totally fucking inappropriate. I'm your superior.
How?
And it was in elementary school. It was the
Oh, see,
principal
this
in
is
charge.
like elementary
It was,
school.
yeah, but it was
Wow,
the
yeah,
principal.
that's-
And I said hey to her, And she was like, "Don't you hate me, you?"
Yeah, it was a little bit like that, but I didn't know who it was. I just assumed it was like just like because we have random people in there all the time, so I was just like, what's up? Like, I don't know. I want to know what you think.
I've only had that situation once, but it's just like some people have these weird way they think people need to address people.
My coworkers were saying he might have thought I was a Marine too. Because I think he might have only saw, like, my face.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think he might have thought you were, like, also a Marine. And was like, why isn't this fucking, dude standing up forever? But I might have a hit on me.
They're going to have to sting you.
I might have a hit, dude.
There's no way. And it's probably just, like, I don't think he gets that a lot, very probably.
Right. He probably, like, did, like, one of those. Like, I'm going next week. Like, I'm going to go in on Monday. They're going to be like, we're going to kill you or you're going to have to quit. You know what I mean? You pissed off the wrong person.
They're going to get you with a phaser.
What's that?
It's like a laser, but it's microwave frequency, so you like blow up. They use it in Star Trek. Yeah.
Wow,
Phasers are dope. I bet the Army has them.
Direct energy weapons.
Yeah, yeah. Energy weapons, people don't know. There is a place by, there's like a place in a neighborhood I know where there's like a camera that tracks you, and then whenever it sees someone walking in front of the house, it plays a really loud and painful frequency that's also kind of like really high-pitched. It doesn't travel that far, but that even is a directed energy weapon because you're using it's a sonic attack to disincentivize people from being anywhere near the lawn of the house.
I suppose. But I feel like people have different implications of what they mean by directed energy. They're thinking like a thing that you get like zapped and explode.
No, dude, I'm pretty sure
there's
they're
that
real.
stuff. There's 100%.
I don't know for sure,
but there is.
Like Steve Jobs. No, I agree.
You just have.
Who do they use them on? Are they going to use?
It's really good for defense.
Everybody.
It's good for individual target
Does
one
Israel
person
have them?
and for Israel,
wait,
so of course you. Well,
wait.
if you're using laser
Dude,
point
imagine
defense, that's energy
some
weapons.
Palestinian kid like goes into the wrong neighborhood and he's just like.
I don't think that's.
But you just get vaporized by a laser, like it hits you, and then
I
your
don't feel
water.
so good.
You just go steam explosion. Okay.
They don't explode. You're thinking in Star Trek. Are you saying in real life?
I'm saying in real life.
There's
once
no way.
The
I
microwave
bet
them?
they have good. Well, it would have to be something on a ship. It wouldn't be like a handheld thing. But I bet you could. No, not even microwave. Just a regular laser. I think if it hit you, you'd pop because all your water would heat up.
How hot would that have to be for you to immediately? They should.
It would have to be really hot.
Mathematically calculate how hot that
It
would
would
be.
have to be something on a ship. It doesn't make sense. It's like in
Just like a missile.
Rogue One when Krennic gets hit by the Death Star individually. Unlikely. Wouldn't happen.
This time it's personal.
Yeah. It's like when a meteor hits you, and it's the world-destroying meteor, but it hits you first, like it lands on your head.
Maybe that's like a cool moment in history.
Yeah. And then there's no more history.
Well, yeah. Well, no, there's still history. It's just no more world
It's no
history.
written history.
Hey, it might
Earth
be
history.
alien. I don't know, man.
Yeah, alien history.
But world-destroying meteors are bad. But if they're gonna happen, not like anything.
That's why we gotta go Elon Musk. You gotta get your Mars on, have your Mars house. Got your Earth house, Mars house.
Full
then you go to
Musk.
one on vacation. It's same. I'm just
Vacation
like, do
on
it.
Neptune.
Neptune would actually not be a good place to live, I don't think.
You don't think so?
I think it would be
Too
bad.
cold, Danny. What the hell?
I don't know.
The
Think about
gravity and the pressure and the weather.
You rent out your third home on what's it called, Pluto. It's not a planet, but still.
Pluto house would be good.
Yeah.
You have like a refrigerator that's just you go outside.
Exactly.
Your backyard is your ice chest. Oh fuck! You could have like a meat store on Pluto because you just freeze dry everything by just throwing it outside, and you have an infinitely large freezer. And then you just everyone who's like, all right, if you're like going out past Pluto, going to like the Kuiper Belt, buy some jerky. That's you could do that.
I think the prime real estate in space is gonna be like the Saturn belt.
It's
It'll be like I got a condo on like one of the fucking rocks in the Saturn belt. It's gonna be like that.
Okay,
It's like you own the whole rock or something.
You have like a giant asteroid.
Yeah.
Here's the prime space estate. So first one is Moon, of course, because it's at the top of a hill. It's a great commercial place. It's at the top of the Earth gravity well, so it's really good for shipping. And you can just land and drop your shit off on the moon and leave, and it's way easier than dropping it off on Earth. So Moon is going to be a big place that you want to have. You're like.
Do you think we landed on the moon?
Yes.
Do you think that the footage we saw was the footage from us landing on the moon?
I'd give them about a 55%
What?
that it was. Yeah, that probably.
Dude,
55?
Have you seen the footage, dude?
Yes.
Do you think that's real?
Yes.
Yeah, me too, by 55%.
What's your percentage?
Lower than that. It's probably 20% real, 15%.
Do you think we did land on the moon?
I think we honestly did. I think we probably did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd say like 85% we did. I just think the footage we see of it, of being like, oh, this was us landing on. I don't know if that's like... I'm not convinced.
I put it above 99% that we put a man on the moon before the 70s. That's like I just where else did he go? We so many people were watching and monitoring and it's like he just hid. They just hid in space behind
Has
the other
Musk
moon.
talked about this?
I don't know.
Because Elon would know better than anyone.
He would definitely claim to know better than anyone. I'm not sure if he would fully know.
Yeah.
But I'm pro Musk. Multi-planet. Go multi-planet. Okay, so Moon, and then Saturn belt is too far off for a while. Your actual prime real estate there, because Saturn is like 90 million miles from the sun. It's twice as far as Jupiter. It's really far away, and the wealth is not actually that much. The moons are interesting. The moons of Saturn might give it an interesting case, but Jupiter's just way better for these. It's putting off more
it's all
energy.
gas, dude.
It has Saturn is also all gas, but it's yeah, Jupiter is closer, and it's close to the asteroid belt, which is your asteroid belt is your one of your other really good places, and then maybe Mars. I don't know. If Mars can be another earthy world, then of course it'll be great, because who doesn't love a good earthy world? But if Mars isn't, it might just be lame, and you want to go to the asteroid belt. That's where your near-ish real estate is. And then Jupiter is, that's like your jumping off point to the stars, because you have a lot of really good moons, you got a bunch of liquid water and research opportunities on Europa. You got a bunch of dope shit around Jupiter, and it puts out a bunch of energy. So it's Jupiter's just the prime space, and Saturn is less prime. And the other ones are
like cancer causing it.
Yes. You got to find a way to harvest it. You need to have shielding. I couldn't just live on a if NASA put a thing together with enough life support to last me to Ganymede and live there, I would die there quickly, because I would get very, very sick from the heat of Jupiter. Even if everything else went well, which I don't know if it would.
You know, dying to the cancer energy causing stuff would probably be terrible.
Yes, but if my communications with home base were still working, and I was being monitored, and I was like, oh, I'm getting energy readings and stuff, it would be an interesting human scientific death where you're really on the frontiers of some knowledge.
That sounds... Wait. But I was wrong for wanting people to get away with murder, but dying... That sounds pretty messed up.
Well, if you're, given that is how you're dying, once you know that that's a fact, what are you going to do? You just going to, grovel about it, or be like, alright, I will boldly march forward in the human enterprise? It's impressive.
Well, no, yeah, I agree, but I wouldn't actively go there then.
No, me neither. I would not go to... I'm not going to go to space until they get it really reliable, which might not happen in my lifetime, but I hope that there's never really going to be a regular moon shuttle in my life. That's... if we decided on a space elevator, you think they could do it in 200 years? But then there is the other variable of life extension, which is that if you make it to 200, you might make it to 500.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I always go with the experimental weird thing that's gonna make you have 5 arms and 7 legs and two noses.
Yes, the new human type.
Yeah, and you know, if that happens, like, live another 100 years, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Then you could live
I'd do
another 100 years if you live that 100 years.
Would you want to do that?
Probably.
Live another 100 years?
I mean, if I just could take something that gave me another nose or something like that, yeah. I'd do that.
I don't know, dude. I might be out pretty soon.
I think a human really wouldn't. If you were trying, you would have a good time for 200 or 300 years, and probably like 10,000 might be good. I don't know. If I had unlimited life, I could easily see myself going for, see how 250,000 years is. Am I liking that? Okay, go for 1 million. Like, let's see.
How long?
You could have a really interesting experience depending, and you would have so much individual, like, wealth, knowledge, experience, happiness,
Compounding
depending.
interest.
Yeah, you'd see so much. It would be a fun experience, but it could also just suck. Like, if you just got to the point where you had diarrhea every day, then maybe eventually it'd be like, okay, I don't want to live any longer. I'm just gonna, like, turn off the immortality machine.
That's what's gonna
and let
stop you?
myself age to death. Yeah, if I had nightmarish diarrhea,
That could happen in the next, like, 10 years from you.
That's
You're gonna kill yourself and that happens?
no, but if I were 10,000 and I had an immortality machine that I took a pill every morning to do it, I might just stop taking the pill if the diarrhea didn't stop and I was making, because after like 100 years of that, what do you think about that? Think about how much it would suck. Be like, I've had, what's 365 times 100? So many days I've had diarrhea in a row.
I mean,
There's people dealing with that now.
But not for 100 years. Because they die. You just dehydrate in like 14 days or something.
you could probably find a solution of some sort.
Well, you'd
after
be
100
looking
years.
for it, but what if a witch cursed you?
Oh, well, then you have so many different problems. You have to kill that witch, and then you should make your whole purpose about kill. Well, don't kill witches unless they curse you with like 100-year diarrhea, and then you might have done something as well. Like, why would you? Who just like curses you with the 100-year diarrhea for a reason?
It would be for a reason. I've never made a witch in Pathfinder, always wizard. I'm gonna make a witch one day. A pure wizard.
Dude, Danny, you need to play Elden Ring.
No.
Why?
What do you mean?
It's like one of the best games I've ever played. Like, I seriously think it's like Elden Ring and Skyrim now. Like, I'm putting it up there on my tier with Skyrim.
Okay, but Skyrim is not even close to one of my favorite games I've played.
Why not?
Because there's so
What's
many...
your favorite game?
So Skyrim places below, what's it called again? Enderal, which is a mod of Skyrim. But
I think that counts.
Full game conversion.
That counts.
No, it's not the same game.
It's the same engine. A mod of something, I think, still counts.
Wait,
it's like saying like
Gary's mod Skyrim.
Huh?
Like I'm pretty, or it's probably Oblivion, but like
What?
Gary's mod is, or no, it's not Gary's
I don't
mod.
know.
There's a lot of things that will use the same engine for like multiple games, and so to say that one engine makes the game.
That's true, but like it's like GTA 5, great game, but everything that's been modded off of that and all of the like multiplayer, that still counts as GTA 5. It doesn't like not count.
No, but this is not like the same.
So
type of mod.
what's like your top tier of games of like 2 or 3? And they're also very different. Like Skyrim, Elden Ring are still different games. I'm just saying as far as premium video games, like they're up there.
I'm a big fan of Divinity 2. I'm a big fan of Baldur's Gate 3 has been good, but I can't really get into it. That game's really fun. But that would place
All
higher.
time?
It would place higher than Skyrim, that's for sure. Because Skyrim's Oblivion, maybe. Fallout New Vegas.
You're gonna put Oblivion above Skyrim?
Yeah, easily.
I played Oblivion. I thought it fucking sucked.
Well, you probably couldn't get past the graphics.
It wasn't even the graphics. It's so vast and empty.
No,
Like I was like running around. It was like
you have to know.
You
where
also
to find
become
the
over
stuff.
encumbered like so easily.
That that is also just being a pack rat, but this...
I wasn't being a pack rat. I was kind of like, what the fuck? To me, Skyrim is like, they took all the stuff that was wrong with Oblivion, and they were just like, we're gonna make it all way. They're picking locks, interacting with NPCs. It all just got like a big fat upgrade.
The NPCs was fine. I don't think that the bartering was very good ever. But
the story was great. Like, don't get me wrong on that.
That's the whole point. That's my
But I don't know
base.
if that's what makes the game.
Okay, they're RPGs though. They're not like action games. Skyrim and Fallout 4 have the same thing, where they play and fight better. They have a better combat system, but their story overall is worse, and it's just a different type of game. Now, if they had more of the storytelling elements and the great combat, awesome. But they haven't been doing that.
So you're gonna say Oblivion and Divinity 2 is in your S tier?
Yes, easily. They're amazing games. I've spent like 700...
And you won't play Elden Ring.
No, I didn't say I wouldn't, but I don't like... Or okay.
Did you play Dark Souls?
Yeah, I played Dark Souls 1. I didn't play any of the other ones.
Why?
I'm not a sorter. A first-person sorter isn't necessarily...
You can play as a mage.
I did when I played the first one.
But mages suck in the first one.
I know.
They made it viable in Elden Ring. That's why you could do it in Elden Ring.
Yeah, I might. There's other things that do mages better. But I consider it. But I haven't really wanted to sink time into... Also, the Souls-likes are just like you're grinding levels, or you're grinding like patterns, so you can memorize a pattern to like fight bosses.
I think you need to try it. I think you have a misconception of what it is.
No, I talked to Lamb as he was playing it. He was like, you would
Lamb's biased as fuck.
You would well, he is, but you would keep on playing like the same boss for like 20, 30 times or something like that, and you're just memorizing their different fighting patterns. Right?
No, I mean, like, isn't that just part of beating any boss?
Not in every game.
You're only killing it once. It shouldn't take you 20 tries also. Like, I don't know how many times it's taken me 20 tries, but I am an Elden Ring god, so...
So, I know you don't play swords, but in tabletop games, you always or very often have, like, swords or are in melee.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you play a mage in the games that are, like, video games, but then you rarely play a mage in tabletop.
Why?
Yeah, because I think I like the roleplay of being a sorter, because it's just some asshole, like,
Bladed weapons.
yeah. But, like, I like... Because in combat, I don't understand... The reading in Pathfinder is too much for the game that it was. Because how I played Pathfinder it was more of an RPG game, which I think is wrong, because that's why I like playing mage and stuff like that now. And that's why I'm getting more into playing a caster in Pathfinder. Because...
The reading.
Yeah. Well, no, there is reading, but there's less RP in Pathfinder, I feel. It's more combat. There's like some really RP heavy systems. Like Mage felt really RP heavy because like, you could just
all
like
your motives and your characters.
Yeah, because you can do pretty much whatever you want. And you can read the stuff and it's so open ended. But in Pathfinder it's really about like this like calculated strike and like really theory
Fine-tuning
crafting.
your numbers.
Exactly. It's just like, oh, I had a 16, now it's a 17, or a 17, now it's an 18. That means their percentage of getting this is this now. And it's like, oh, okay. And like, oh, I'm this level. That is the appeal of Pathfinder, and I think that's been more of what I've been playing recently. But the reason why I played more of the sorters was because like I was more just like, well, I know how to make someone who hits someone hard. I don't have to read too much because like the feats are kind
So it's like a system design thing. Because I also don't play video games where you run around hit people with swords, because I don't want to have reflexes and dodge things.
That can be fun though.
Dude, you need to play Elden Ring.
You think so?
Yes.
Oh.
Ask John. I
John's
think John agrees
biased.
with me. How?
John really likes Elden Ring. It's one of his top games.
Most people who play it do.
John also likes all the Souls likes. So.
Because they're good games.
They're a specific type of game.
How long has Divinity 2 been out?
I don't know. Conservative, 10 years.
You're not selling it?
No, it's really fun. It's like
It just went on sale. I didn't get it.
it's like a strategy game. It's actually really fun. It's like you plan out your turns and you sometimes have to reload because there's a right and a wrong way to fight the combat. And if you fight it, you can do a ton of these different ways. Like you can approach fights any different way, but if you don't approach it the right way, you'll just die. There's the skeleton that if you approach them from the wrong side, they'll just sneak up on you and you'll because they're invisible. And if you don't know that they're there the first time, you just die. But there's certain things that you kind of learn, and you can not die if you're strong or you're good at fighting the stuff. It just makes it harder the first time. The artificial difficulty modes aren't very fun if you don't like that type of stuff.
Did you try Starfield?
No, I've been told bad things.
I've heard bad shit too.
And
Are you
most
gonna try it?
No.
It's a space game.
No, I like, Stellaris is my go-to space game because you get to be Egypt in space.
How often do you play Stellaris?
Not
'Cause you talk
super
about-
often, but I've probably got 800 to 1,000 hours in it
Holy
total.
shit.
But I've had it for probably 5 or 6 years, so
a lot of players.
And you play on your
I've played it
MacBook?
a decent amount.
On your MacBook?
Sometimes, yeah.
You can. Well, do you have another computer?
No, I don't. I do play it on my MacBook.
Oh man.
One day you should upgrade to the PC Master Race.
I will at some point. I haven't played Stellaris recently, but that means that I might just play it a bunch because that's the thing. It's just one of those games you play it and then it's a time sink, which is a dangerous part about it. Yeah, most of them.
Are there any new ones recently?
Probably. They're always making new stuff.
Yeah, it's a Paradox game. That's how they kind of get their money.
But it's good. It's a good game.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I said, you beat Space Hitler.
What did you
Beat
play
Egypt.
before Divinity?
What I played before Divinity?
You're not gonna put any of the Zelda or
Oh, well, that's a different type of game.
I'm counting those. Dude, I put Reach. in mine.
I don't think Reach is S tier.
Dude, for me it was that video game. I played the fuck out of. I was so good at it.
I
Dude.
like 3 way
I probably could
better.
have gone pro at Reach. I'm not even
3
bullshitting.
is way better.
I didn't have a Xbox at that time.
Oh.
I missed all the 3 hype, and I jumped in at Reach. Reach was so much fun, dude.
Reach was fun. Halo 3 was kind of where the game started taking off, and Reach was just it capitalizing on 3's popularity. That's how it felt.
Yeah, to me, Reach is good, but it's lost in 3's shadow. But the items are nice, the jetpack and stuff. That's fun.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it didn't really add that much, which is why the stuff was more like novelties, which was fine. But
Also, the campaign on Reach, dude.
yeah, it was really good.
We're still gotta do a playthrough.
I still don't have Reach. I should see if my computer could even
The
run.
Master Chief Collection's $10 sometimes.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, well, that
Every
let me know when it is.
Halo game is $10. I think I have it.
It's a good deal.
Probably goes on sale in a month, or not even a month. In 20 days.
Well, I do like the Halo games.
Yeah, and I already played through Halo 2's campaign. That was pretty fun. Halo's 2 campaign's still kind of crunchy. It doesn't look very good, and a lot of the different fights are very dated. You come to a place and you're this looks like a place where I'm about to have a fight. You have a fight.
I like that. It's a good design, though. The cool Forerunner architecture and all that.
Yeah, but it's just you go to an arena and then there's a bunch of people who spawn around that arena, and then you run and jump and you shoot them. But they're not like natively in different areas. Sometimes like the forest places, they do a better job. They have like the snipers and stuff. You walk into them, but that's like maybe like 3 of the missions that they're gonna have. The other ones just feel like kind of like segmented areas where you go and fight things. It doesn't flow as well. I think the Halo 3 does a better job of that. This campaign wise.
I love the Halo 3 campaign.
I agree.
All the Halo games, solo legendary, are so infuriating but rewarding. Because they are doables, and they're not impossible.
The first part of the Halo 3 campaign, I think, is that where there's that water, where there's like your legs are in water and stuff, and you kind of walk around the map, and there's the brutes and stuff.
Yeah.
That is what I mean. It feels like native. There's not like any type of arena in there. It's just
the enemies in the jungle like they would be. They're using the trees as cover and the rocks and stuff.
Yeah, it feels like a better campaign.
Good design.
Yeah.
It was like cinema though.
Which is awesome for a game to be like. I do okay.
Reach did Forge way better though. Reach Forge was
yes.
You summon the grid.
Yeah, and then you flip it, and then you kill your friends.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe that shows who I am. But yeah.
I hope they remaster Reach, dude.
They will eventually. That's, I mean, in our culture, everything that's really popular and
It's
nostalgic
remastered.
can count on a remaster.
It's kind of like
I don't know. Is it gonna have multiplayer though? I think that's the big thing.
Yes.
Because Bungie went and made Destiny, and Destiny's just, in my opinion, it's just like ran its course. Like they can either do another Destiny and do like a battle royale or do like more PvP, but other than that, Destiny's like the replayability is super low. You do it for a couple hours and you're just like, this is all, I'm done.
There's
I want them to make something new.
It's like Warframe. Wow.
Isn't there some game you play that's like sci-fi group running around stuff? And it's
What do you mean?
The Riot game?
Maybe, I don't know. I know there's some game that people play, and I think I know of you playing it sometimes where you... What?
No.
Apex Legends?
No.
Yes, Apex, that's it. No.
That's a battle royale.
Okay, that's... But isn't it like squads? Isn't it smaller amounts of people?
Yeah, it's 3 teams of 3.
Okay, so that I feel like is more...
That I'd play
it's
more
less
than anything.
party than battle royale. It seems like a cool thing, but that's sci-fi.
Less party?
Free for all is inherently
guess.
more random and less tactical. I think.
Hey, did you ever play Titanfall?
No.
It's like Titanfall.
I know
But
Titanfall.
without the
people,
robots.
Jumped off of walls. That was a thing.
Yeah, there's no
Hardcore.
wall jumping and there's no robots, but it's the same like characters and guns.
Interesting.
I still play the fucking shit out of Apex. I play on Twitch sometimes.
Okay, wait. Apex Legends is like Titanfall?
It's the same people who made Titanfall. It's the same.
Wait, really?
Yes, it's the same
Wait.
company, and it's the same. What do they call it? Like the backstory or like the universe of Titanfall, where there's like characters and guns that was in Titanfall. There's just no like robots where like you can get in a robot and like fight.
So the same studio just was like paid by Riot, or
No, the same studio, because I think it's Respawn, right?
I actually
They were like, we're gonna make a battle royale to compete with Fortnite and all that. They made Apex. It ended up taking off, and then they literally stopped making Titanfall games, and they only focus on Apex now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh. That's unfortunate. Titanfall was really
No,
good.
it's not.
Titanfall was really good. The robot
Not as
part-
good as Apex. There can only be one.
Yeah. Then how did it end up under Riot?
I don't know if it did.
Isn't Apex Legends on the Riot launcher?
It's EA. EA had nothing to do with developing it or anything. They just published it for...
Wait. What's the Riot one?
Yeah, it's not fucking on Riot.
I thought there was a Riot
League, Valorant. You're thinking of Valorant.
Okay, never mind. Sorry, it's all the same shit to me.
Yeah, because you think everything revolves around League.
No, all of the battle royales. So I only know Fortnite's different because all the memes. They have like the kids singing the Tomato Town song and shit like that, and then there's like magic crossovers. But if there wasn't any of that, I wouldn't know that Fortnite was separate than I did from any of the other like battle royales. It was just so much more popular than the other ones. So they all kind of sync together. Like even Overwatch, which I know because I played.
Do people still play that? I haven't heard anything. I feel
I'm
like
sure Fortnite's still popular.
Well, Fortnite.
Wait, no. He said Overwatch, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Overwatch? No, I think Overwatch.
They just
has
they did
fallen off, but
Overwatch
probably
2.
Still play.
And then people kind of stopped playing
I
it.
don't think people play Overwatch 2 either. Or
I
maybe
think I think everyone's on Valorant if they're doing that.
Yeah, Overwatch 2, they promised campaign mode, and then they say, haha, no, we're not doing that. And then I think people got upset at Blizzard for Blizzard being Blizzard.
Re-releasing the same game for $50 or $60.
I want them to. I want another Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront, dude.
Blizzard, dude? Oh, no,
No,
yeah.
that was EA and DICE,
Nice.
the people who made Battlefield.
Those games were fun.
Dude, Battlefront on EA is the shit. I don't know why it just never took off. Like when they first started, it was kind of pay to play, and I think that's why it wasn't even buggy, and no one was playing it because it was so pay to play. People boycotted it. But
Wait,
like,
EA game that wasn't buggy.
it wasn't that buggy. Dude.
It wasn't that buggy.
I don't think it was
Yeah.
buggy. I might be wrong, but I don't know.
I don't know. All I know is that, like, I'm pretty sure EA is pretty notorious for buggy games.
I just want them to do another one.
Yeah, I understand that. But that's, like, the whole problem with people making, like, the same titles. Is, like, a different title might be good still. Like, that's similar. Well, it's like the Valorant Titanfall thing. They have to, like, walk as Battlefield and run as a different game.
I don't know. We need something new. I've been waiting for a game that's gonna like bring everyone back together.
It's going to be in VR. It's going to be a really good VR shooter. I think that's what it's going to take. It's going to be really fun. Think of how great of a VR shooter you could make if you figured out how to make
I
it
don't
well.
think so though, dude. I'm saying like
It's like paintball, though.
Like at the beginning of COVID when Warzone came out, and it was like, oh, we're all locked in our house. Oh, also this brand new Call of Duty Battle Royale game just came out. Everyone was on it. Everyone, maybe not you guys because you guys don't really play the first person shooters, but like people came out of the woods to play this shit, and it was awesome. And then it all got to shit when there was too many hackers and all that. But I'm saying like I want another thing to come out where like people are gonna like everyone's gonna be on it, and we haven't had that in forever.
VR shooter.
VR shooter.
Then everyone will need to get that system that Christmas. Or whatever holiday.
It needs
Could
to
happen
be
every year.
affordable for people reasonably, even if they're in like a splurge. Because right now VR is like hundreds of dollars. It's like more expensive than a PS5, and then you have to have a computer to play it, right?
You gotta make the system and the game together $300 or less, I think. Because people will buy it even though
You're
they
never
shouldn't.
gonna make a VR that anytime soon though.
Yeah.
No, no.
300 or less.
But in like 100 years, see, that's why you have to get the surgery where you get the nose.
Why do you think having an extra nose is gonna expand your life?
You'll take in more oxygen.
3 years then. I don't know. 17 teeth. Some random set of thing that require like.
It's a weird surgery is the point.
Yes.
What would you be willing to tolerate? Like what would
What's the furthest?
What would it have to be to where you said
Say no?
Yeah.
I would say no at losing a limb.
Pussy.
Well, okay. How many? Like, how far? Like, I would lose. Like his limb would be like. greater than your like ankle and stuff like that, right? Like, cause I couldn't just lose a toe. That would be a toe, not a limb. Like, can I lose just like?
What
part
if
of
you
my
had to
foot?
be trans? Would you do that to
Not
get
gonna-
an extra 100 years?
What?
Yeah.
Can you do it at the end? Can you be like, I can
No,
do this instead
They
of
have to
time?
say, like,
Wait,
right
what?
before you die, they're like, if we make you trans right now, you'll live an extra 100 years.
Well,
Would you do it?
Then you do it because 100 extra years of life as opposed to die. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
But
wait, is that mean your
Probably
answer is no?
not if you had to do it before. If it was like, okay, do it now.
I don't
and
know
you'll
if I
live
wanna
another
be
100 years. Probably
trans.
not.
I don't know.
Well,
if
Yeah,
I might
that's,
just have
that's
to say
true.
no.
Be like, yeah, I'd rather be dead.
Well, not like in a.
that is technically the choice, right?
Yeah, I just don't know if I have what it takes.
It's so adding things is I would accept much more weird additions than subtractions. Like I really would feel weird about losing a limb or
But
something.
anyone would add
towards the
things
future
now.
things.
If there's
But,
like
adding
no
weird
upside and
stuff
I
would
get like
be
another
weird.
arm, I'm gonna do it.
For
If
that
I get like an
extra-
extra ear, I'm gonna do it.
What if you lose one ear?
then it's
Done.
a harder question.
Fine.
Yeah, I'd be done. I'd do it, lose an ear.
I'll lose an ear.
Be a Van Gogh.
Yeah, what if you lost 5 toes? You get to
That's
choose the
Don't
ones.
care.
Really gonna mess with your balance, and it depends a lot on context. Like,
No.
do I have good prosthetics?
Yeah, you could do prosthetics,
Yeah.
which the Egyptians did.
Lose the whole leg.
For 100 years?
100 years.
Yeah.
Both legs?
I barely use my legs now, dude. I can barely move my left leg.
Okay.
Every time I run, it cramps up. I get shin splints. My knee hurts on it. Fuck it. I don't care.
Every time you run, doesn't use his legs. So
I use it, dude, but it's fucking. I'm
don't-
literally like
so
dragging.
What
it.
about both both up to your knees?
Fine.
You?
Well, when it's near the end, then probably most things I'm going to say yes to. But right now, I would not do that for another 100 years unless I was living in a crazy sci-fi situation where it's like, yes, then you'll get the flight-based neurosynaptic super legs where I have like crystals as legs and I'm floating. Like, okay, then I'll consider it. But right now, like, oh yeah, well, we're just going to cut them and like give you a metal thing, but you'll live longer. Fuck that.
Okay, wait.
I don't
What
want to
about
lose a limb or
arms?
foot. Arms, same thing. I really like having my arms. If I was in a wacko context where it's like, dude, we can give you something so much better than arms, and we're going to, and like I knew it was true, then I would weigh the decision more. But just going down that capacity, being like, oh, I have one hand now, that would fucking suck. That'd
So-
be horrible.
You wouldn't even lose one hand, but you wouldn't. Obviously, if you wouldn't lose one, you wouldn't lose both. But interesting. Fingers also no.
Yeah, same, but also it changes based on distance from death. Because as life becomes a more limited resource, you're like willing to bargain more for it. You're like, oh yeah, I'll give you one of my hands. I hardly even use them, but like I don't know. As is, I'm alive and have hands.
I
You
would
could get a cool hook.
if I get 100 years, I would lose both pinkies right now.
That's fair. That's one I would have to weigh because you will.
Don't you
you'll have
use
to
those
grip
to
things
play
a bit
League?
harder.
Well,
Yeah, you do.
if I'm getting 100 years immediately, that's not that much to pay.
Yeah, you'll compensate for it in the lost productivity.
I would
by
just
time.
do anything else. Well, like, do you really need your pinkies?
They're really helpful for grip and occasional fine manipulations.
Fine
Not
dining.
necessary. And yes, and also it's a bit of a social thing. It's you are maimed, and people will notice that you're maimed. You'll go and shake someone's hand, and they'll do like a little.
Do you like a fist
But then
bump?
you can make up cool stories.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
lost it in the war.
Yeah, some kid ate it.
Yeah, but I got.
You
the
could
last
make
laugh.
up. You could literally bend it to fit whatever narrative you want at that moment. So, like, if you're trying to make a point about like a certain group of people, you could accuse them of doing it.
Yeah, you see, I was in Nairobi, Kenya,
Yeah.
and Idi Amin was in position to rule Africa, and we all had to make some tough choices that time. And someone said to me, "Are you in?" And I had to prove to him I was in, and the pinky was the oath.
Yeah.
Just
Like if
fuck.
you're a salesman or something, you could say, well, I had to sell a car, and to prove my loyalty, I cut off my pinky or something. Like, you could come up with anything.
I don't know if they would like that though. And then you could offer to cut off your other
If
one.
someone ever questions you,
You're just
like, are you good at your job? You could be like, look at what I gave up
I don't
for
think
my fucking job, dude. And you're missing your pinkies.
And then you go up to them and are you in or you out? And you start grabbing on their pinkies.
Yeah. So I'll ask you the same question. Are you good at your job? And you're grabbing their pinkies.
They're never coming back again, or they're calling HR.
Yeah.
Here's what you do. You just chuckle and you say, well, when you owe the family something, you generally pay it. And then you just don't say anything else about it. And you let them think you're cool.
Oh boy. Where you guys at? Keep going? Do we got more to talk about?
I'd be down to play a game of Magic. Or
Yeah.
two.
Yeah?
Undoubtedly.
We are over 2 hours in.
All right. Now
It's up to you guys.
next time we'll continue with more of the Persian War.
I actually learned a lot about Persian War.
Yeah, just the genesis.
We
of
barely got to go into it, I feel like.
it. Yeah. That's
That's
it's
So
the
next time
cliffhanger,
on
yeah.
Dragon Ball G.
I'm trying to watch Dragon Ball Z in Spanish.
How's that going?
It's going pretty good. It's I'm starting to learn more of the stuff, but the problem is where I go to is I try and understand and decipher it all, and that's not the way to learn a language. The way to learn a language is just look and listen really closely and try and hear all the syllables and see what's happening. And so that's my task there is I keep going into analysis, and it's like no, just listen. And you know enough of it that you're going to learn more of it just by listening and paying attention. So that is it.
You're gonna watch all of it?
I don't know how much of it I'm going to watch. I hear there's a lot of it. But I like the beginning parts.
Well, yeah.
He's still fighting the guy, the first guy to come, Raditz. With the first Saiyan dude enemy.
Are the voice actors Japanese or Spanish?
They're Spanish, but they're doing kind of Japanese-y voices, which is really
That's
fun.
funny, because when you start speaking Spanish, you're going to be like, oh, and it's
No,
going to be like, why are you... They're going to like people who speak Spanish are going to be confused about your dialect. Like, where are you from again?
Well, I have enough of a Spanish background to know, you just drop into a stereotypical kind of Mexican voice, which comes very naturally to me, so you just do that, and that's it. That's how it sounds.
Mm. You're going to be saying, weird phrases. You're going to be learning all these, weird Japanese phrases.
We need to go to Japan.
You're going to be like, we don't really, say it like that. I don't know why.
Saying, talking about Vegeta.
Do me a weeb, but in Spanish. What's the Spanish weeb?
I don't know. Don Quixote?
Grant's going to be talking to some Mexican guys. He's going to be like, yeah.
Wait a minute. Are you learning Spanish just so you can read Don Quixote?
Probably. That's part of it.
But
I would like to know Spanish. It's good and useful in this world in California.
To read, yeah.
Yeah, but to communicate too. Being bilingual is a plus.
Imagine knowing more than one language.
I wish I had been raised with 2 or 3. That would be great.
Everyone
Kids
doesn't
just pick them up.
Everyone.
It's good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But that's okay.
You get a game of Magic with you going?
Yeah. Stop.